Longest minute ever. There we go. We're live. We're back. Bit of technical issues. We were talking to ourselves for probably about 5 minutes there without realising, but it is the big card. If you didn't join us in the previous live about 2 minutes ago, joined by Kenny Ken, Jay, Alby, and Benji. We ain't going to start again. We're just going to kick straight back into it. We were somewhere talking about Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury, and I think we was going around in circles. So should we bring it back to this weekend?
Yeah.
And we'll talk straight about Dereck Chisora. He pulled one today, didn't he? Have you all seen it? With the old who's walking out last and the coin flip. Is he fighting? He's taking his stuff out of the bubble. He ain't getting back in the bubble.
Go with him. Remember, he had the audacity about nearly 18 months ago when we had a world title fight, a unified world title fight between Progress and Josh Taylor, when they were rightly heading top of the bill. A fantastic fight, lived to expectations. He actually thought he should be the main billing. Hang on here. I thought, since when have we rewarded losers? Wait. Match. You know what I mean? I'm not too funny about
Chisora's next fight's against Ken.
Oh, he probably win easily. You know what's happening? You know what's happening with Dereck Chisora? What does he want? You lost a coin. You lost a toss of a coin. What do you want? The best of 3? The best of 5? Mm-hmm. You lost. Parker won the toss of a coin. He's coming out second. Simple.
Dereck Chisora cannot even win a coin toss, yet he's
exactly.
pay-per-view. He's boxing.
Brilliant quality.
But in all seriousness, Kenny, I think we need to send you down there to sort him out. You know what I mean? If anyone can do it, I'm sure you tell him. But let's face it, this coin toss thing, it will have been in the contract. The contract for this fight. So the thing is, if Chisora doesn't box tomorrow, Hearn's just going to take him to court and sue the absolute arse off him. So it is all posturing. It just is all. I
think it's all sorted now anyway. Look, Curtis Webb says Tony Bellew posted a picture of them and Hay. That was quite funny. If anyone saw that on IFL, it was Tony Bellew, David Hay. Coogan's trying to get Tony Bellew to go up and talk to him. Oh, it was a nice situation.
If Tony Bellew had gone up there with a fishing rod and some chicken, it would have been perfect. But I bet you no one's going to realise what that reference is. Kenny might. But basically, a long time ago, there was a guy called Raoul Moat who was running around with a gun.
Yes.
And Paul Gascoigne managed to get himself on TV drunk, and he wanted to take a bucket of chicken and a fishing rod to go and talk this man with a gun down. And I just... This whole situation kind of reminded me of that, and I just had this image of Tony Bellew with a bucket of chicken and a fishing rod saying to David Hay, "Don't worry, I'll get him to box. I'll go and I'll put my arm around him and have a chat, and I can get Chisora. I'll get Del Boy back on the job. Don't worry about it." It amused me anyway.
Brilliant. Well, it's got to happen, because if it didn't happen, look at the amount of flights and the amount of names, and you can imagine, because surely would the show have gone ahead? I don't know. Obviously, it surely couldn't have gone ahead as a pay-per-view. Unless
main event.
But some people are complaining about pay-per-view already. If you take away Chisora and Parker, I really don't know. And the people who have bought it already, they're going to be wanting refunds. It would be an absolute disaster. But hopefully it's on, and we're going to get an entertaining fight. Let's talk about the fight. It's an intriguing fight for me. 2 new trainers, Buddy McGirt, Dereck Chisora, and Andy Lee with Joseph Parker. Dereck Chisora was last out on the 31st of October, Halloween, against Alexander Usyk. And Joseph Parker was last out in February against Junior Farr, where he won a close points decision in many people's eyes. That was. What do you think, Benji? What do you make of this fight? Is it a good fight? Is it going to be close? What's your general thoughts on it?
Oh, I mean, Dereck Chisora, for all his faults, he comes for a fight, and he'll leave it all in the ring. He's not coming to lose. He's coming to win. For all his faults, he's a live opponent, and he will give it a go. For Parker, though, if he wants to have his name associated in top tens of the division, if he wants to push on and be a contender and all this sort of thing, and get in line for the winner of Fury and AJ or Wilder or whatever, he needs to be beating Dereck Chisora. Dereck Chisora is kind of almost the epitome of a gatekeeper now. So, I mean, I'd say there's probably more pressure on Parker here to maintain what he has built and his name and where he sits within the division. For Dereck Chisora, that was beautiful. Who was that?
Yeah, I've got I've been drinking too many fizzy drinks. Sorry about that.
I thought the point I was making was that bad it caused Kenny to belch.
No, it's
I didn't hear that. I completely missed that.
No, me too.
Carry on,
got the good head, got the good ears on.
The proper one.
So like with Chisora, if he were to beat Parker, I'm not sure that it actually moves him up the ladder that much in any way, shape, or form. He just sort of prolongs his box office potential. I mean, Chisora's already spoken about maybe boxing 3 more times after this year. The guy, he's getting together his retirement fund. That's what it is, and fair play to him. If you can make big money, who's going to turn that down? If you're offered the paydays, you're going to take them. So I think with Chisora, his main incentive for winning really is just sort of prolonging his potential at gaining more money. As for sort of prediction type things, Parker should win, really, in my opinion. But it's heavyweight boxing. We know that Chisora's a good pressure fighter. He always comes to fight. He has got knockout power. So it could well be an interesting one. I'll shut up now.
Yeah, guys, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Road to 18K. Tell your friends about Pep Talk UK, where the live streams, the interviews, and all the rest of your boxing media, shall we say, boxing content. But Jay, big fight, heavyweight. It's what we love. It's Joseph Parker versus Dereck Chisora. Who's winning?
I'll probably go with what Benji's saying. On paper, you would probably go Parker for the victory, probably on points if I was a betting man. But it's heavyweight boxing. Del Boy's pay-per-view, I think, just by the antics of this week, you can see why he's pay-per-view. He's in great fights, and everyone's talking about this card, and it is because Chisora's on it. So there's a bit of story to this fight in there with the old Spider bite. You've had Spider-Man having breakfast with him this week. You've had it all going on. So
that was so strange. The whole breakfast scenario.
I heard it was David Hay who was dressed up as Spider-Man, but I'm not too sure. But but the fight itself, I think the jab's going to be key here. Joseph Parker with the jab. Do you know what I mean? He's working with Andy Lee. Tyson Fury's beat Chisora a couple of times. I think the tactics are going to be, by looking at Joseph Parker, it's the best shape I've ever seen him in, to be honest. He's got no fat on him. He looks very lean. He looks, in really good shape. So I think the plan is to use the jab, try and box on the back foot for most of the fight. Chisora's, I think he is improved with his fitness coming in. So that's where it's going to be intriguing how well Joseph Parker can keep the jab going, because with an aggressive fighter like that, you've got to use your jab, see what counter shots he can come off with when Chisora comes in with his strikes. And I want Dereck Chisora to win. I think my heart's saying a win for Del Boy. My head's saying, obviously, Joseph Parker to nick it on points. But I think it'd be a great fight. I agree with Benji. I think wherever Dereck goes after this, it's not going to be for a world title. It's going to be another big name, another big payday. And does it make it much more interesting in the heavyweight division? Probably not, but there's probably a couple more fights left in him. I wouldn't mind seeing him fight probably someone like a Luis Ortiz or maybe a Hughie Fury or someone like that, maybe just to end the career. But yeah, it's a good fight. I think it's a good fight.
Curtis Webb says, I'm no hardcore fan, with a huge knowledge, but I rate Usyk more than Parker, and Parker looked awful in his last fight. Kenny, first of all, I saved you to last on this one because I know your opinions on Dereck Chisora, but we'll start off with an easy one. How did Joseph Parker look in his last fight against Junior Farr? And then I'll unleash you on Dereck Chisora versus Joseph Parker.
Well, the thing about it is that, like last fight is a last fight, but they all do, the thing we say in boxing, styles make fights. And again, it's at the end of the day, Joseph Parker probably couldn't be asked to get out of bed for his last bout, but this one, he is going to get out of bed for this one because, he wasn't happy with his performance. He changed trainers, because he in his interview, he said he was.
No, that was a rivalry in his last fight, Ken. I think he was up for that. It was a New Zealand rivalry from the amateurs.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I just think he was from his team.
Yeah, but I hate what you're saying, but if you look at the situation, he's fought a world title fight. He's fought Joshua. He's fought, Dillian Whyte, all pay-per-views.
Not because of the bounce. You've got to rebuild.
And he's trying to rebuild and everything. But I think this is a kind of fight where he's thinking, right, hang on it, shot window, let's get back in the mix. But getting back in the mix. But in terms of like this fight, my thing with Dereck Chisora, right, is what can McGirt teach him, what John Charles could teach him. That's what I've always said. Yes, we hear that he was really in great shape. He's looking really fit. David couldn't stop telling us that we're going to see something that we've never seen with Dereck Chisora. You're going to be amazed by the skill set and everything. And what happened? It was basically Usyk. This time, is his southpaw stance, punch, move, boom, boom. And I think with Dereck Chisora is that as much as fitter as he is, there seems to be a formula to beat Dereck Chisora, and most good fighters will pick that formula. Tyson Fury did it twice. Pulev did it. And the only person who beat him twice by trying to gauge him was Dillian Whyte. Well, I'm sorry, Joseph Parker's not a Dillian Whyte. He ain't going to be, because, Dillian Whyte will want to have it. He thinks he can he's got more physical strength than Joseph Parker. But I think in terms of Dereck Chisora, the best way is to cut off the spaces, cut off the distance, and it has to be the jab, and he has to throw some body punches, and then set up the signature right hand, overhand right. He catches Parker on the overhand right, and he catches him clean. He's going over, but I can't see it happening. I really cannot see it happening, especially if Parker uses that his brain power and just not just the jab. I don't like lazy jabs. I like double jabs with force. Double jabs, and then I want him to throw his punches, not so much up close. I want him to throw from long range, catching from long range, and that discourages Dereck Chisora, breaks his heart, and then what's happened is you can build up points with. I know a lot of people think that Parker needs to knock him out. He probably does, but he can still win the fight unanimously by looking good, looking classy, and I think he's got a good opportunity to do that because I don't think Dereck Chisora has the ability to cut off the distance against Parker. And I think it's going to be a unanimous point victory. Dereck Chisora is going to show a lot of endeavour. But if I was McGirt, if Dereck Chisora isn't able to close out the distance by the 10th round, I'll pull him out. What's the point?
Did you see that interview that McGirt said he's never actually seen Dereck Chisora fight?
Well, he's going to see him tomorrow. He's going to see him. He's going to see him in action tomorrow. I trust me.
He said he's never seen him fight ever.
Well, I don't know. We had.
I was looking down Del Boy's or War. I was looking down Derek's record earlier today, and I was looking. Obviously, he's been in with some fantastic opponents throughout his career, and really, it's got to be one of the best out of all the heavyweights who he's fought. Granted, there's 10 losses in there, but a lot of them were close losses. And I was looking, do you think Joseph Parker would be the win of his career, name-wise? Oh, because I was looking down, looking at the fighters who he's actually beat. Like, you look at Takam, Spilkar. Jay, do you think he's the win of his career?
Yeah, it could be because he's a former world champion. So you can say that he's beat a former world champion. That's a good, credible opponent. I think with Chisora, I think his previous 6 fights, he's actually been on quite a good run. I know he lost to Usyk by unanimous decision, but it was a competitive fight. He knocked out David Price in 4 rounds, Spilka in 2 rounds. The Gashi fight was very, very boring, so I'm not even going to talk about that one. But when he knocked out Carlos Takam, do you know what I mean? He's like a rock of a bloke. Like, he's got a granite chin on him, and he knocked him clean out. Yeah, probably would be one of the bigger names on his record. Yeah, I'd say that because he's a former world champion. So, yeah, he's a good, credible opponent. Joseph Parker's beat Hughie Fury, Andy Ruiz Jr. So,
yeah,
Derek's at this place in his career anyway. He's a gatekeeper, like Benji said. So it's difficult to say how great Joseph Parker is. But yeah, he's a good, credible man to have on his record. Yeah, so I'd say yeah.
Benji, what do you think? Do you reckon it's the best name on his record if he gets the W on Saturday?
Well, I mean, it's an interesting point, this conversation, because I think with Dereck Chisora, we know how good he is. If Dereck Chisora were to retire now, or whether he retires now, whether he retires after tomorrow night's fight, you look down the resume, you see the names he's been in with, and he's been in with some of the best names of this era of the heavyweight division. Obviously Tyson Fury's on there twice. We've got a good solid gauge of how good Dereck Chisora is or was. With Parker, I think we're kind of finding that out now. I think we're still finding that out. And, not to try and dig up what we were talking about just a bit ago with Wilder and Fury and AJ, I still think looking at their resumes was yet to find out just how good they are. I think, Wilder needs a few more names like a Pulev's, Takam's, Parker's and all this sort of thing. And same with Fury. Then we need to have a more broad range of names on their resumes to really define how good they are. Same with AJ. So Parker could well be, if Chisora was to win tomorrow, it could well be his best name, especially if, depending on what Parker then goes on to do in the rest of his career.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. So it is an interesting one. We know that Parker's been in with AJ, he got beat. He's been in with Whyte, he got beat. So I think we are generally finding out just how good Parker is. We already kind of know how good Chisora is. Am I making sense with all that? Is that?
Yeah, because Benji, I think the question is probably more for Parker, isn't it? Where he goes after.
Yeah.
With Chisora, we know when or lose he's going to be in the same position. Where does Parker go with a loss? Really, I think it don't look very well for him, considering, like you say, all the people that go on to world level beat Dereck Chisora, don't they, on the way up? So
no, this is it.
It's an interesting point, guys. Let's know what you think in the comments. Who wins, Chisora, Parker? Put in by what method, if you'd like, and we'll read them out. We'll get a bit of a conversation going. But Kenny, do you think that if Chisora does lose, or maybe he gets knocked out, a bad knockout, do you reckon he retires, or do you reckon he'll still come again?
Well, the thing about Chisora is that he will come again, because simple reason is that he's going to look at the situation. He's going to think, well, I've been beaten. There's a level, and I fought at world level, and I'm not quite at that world level, but there is a niche in terms of the Europeans and the British level, which is still high, not as high as world level, but he's got to look at the situation and think, well, why not? He came back from Dillian Whyte. That was a really bad knockout. He was not clean off his feet, and he came back. And remember David Hay? I was at Upton Park in 2012 where he got actually bashed up, but he came back. Yeah, so Dereck Chisora is very resilient, and right now, in terms of his age as a heavyweight boxer, he's still a young man. Some heavyweights for fight, a fight in their early 40s, so he's still got a lot of mileage in him. If he wins, then what's happened is that the conversation and the selling point is different now. It becomes believable because he has to be a good fighter. Where Parker goes if he loses, any ambitions he has as making a noise and like I said, knocking on a few doors and getting up some rankings, it's going to be a big rebuilding job. So for both of them, there's a big incentive, and I think, bloody hell, I'm not Dereck Chisora's biggest fan in terms of what he's bringing to the table. I'm basically trying to sell the fight. I'm actually selling the Dereck Chisora fight. What am I doing? Shut up, Ken. But you know, as a boxing fan, Dereck Chisora has to look at the situation and think, right, this is my last chance at a big time. I beat this geezer. I'm now part of this conversation, and I'm going to get these decent fights. And I can just probably open that gatekeeper door and see if I could just get a little foot out of it and get in that conversation. So it's a massive fight for both of them. And if he gets knocked out, and David Hay will sell it again, and then what will happen is that another decent fighter looking to get in the rankings will fight Dereck Chisora. So get past me if you want to be a great fighter. So his career might be over.
Here's one then. If Chisora does lose and he decides to carry on, can he headline a pay-per-view again? With 11 losses, can he headline another pay-per-view? Your face says a lot, Benji, there. What do you think?
Yeah, but every A-side needs a B-side. And Dereck Chisora is one hell of a B-side. That's all I've got to say.
Yeah, I'm going to probably make you feel really old now and make myself look incredibly young, because the first fight I actually ever remember watching live on the television was Dereck Chisora versus Tyson Fury 1 in like 2012.
Yeah,
was it 2012?
And you're still a boxing fan. How did you become a boxing fan after watching that?
Actually, it may have been the second one. I'll tell you what the first one was, actually. It's come to me now. The first one, which is even more shocking, was David Hay versus Audley Harrison, which is even worse. I got the baptism of fire there. It was disgusting. I don't know how.
You're better off getting a West Ham season ticket rather than watching that.
Oh, can he get? I've had to deal with that for 11 years as well. I don't know. The past 10 years, apart from this season, it's like your season with Arsenal.
Oh, don't talk about that. This is a boxing show. We don't talk about Mikel Arteta.
No. This is your release, Kenny, to get away from
Trust me,
that terrible performance last night.
Well, I'm still not happy with Sky TV at all. I was promised a European Super League, and now I'm not going to get one.
Yeah, because of Sky TV, you're not getting one. It's because Gary Neville and Jamie Carragher effed it up for you.
No, and European Super Leagues were going to be on pay-per-view as well. No.
Hey, but can I just change the subject slightly, because I think it's a good point. I'm not screaming, but we have some serious concerns that BT are selling their sporting coverage, BT Sport, and then people like ITV, like I said, looking to buy their sporting rights. Amazon, I think there's someone else. Anyone?
The Zone might be
buying the Zone, Amazon, and in terms of their networks, and ITV. Now, the Zone is good, but if ITV and Amazon get it, I am seriously concerned about the effect it will have on British boxing in terms of fighters and British boxing coverage. I'm really concerned because it looks like what BT Sport are selling is not their boxing. They're selling their Champions League rights and Premiership rights, which is more attractive. So where does that leave boxing?
But does that allow Sky Sports to go, here's a load of money, Frank. Eddie's probably leaving. There you go.
Yeah, I can see that happening. I can see that happen.
Can you, though? Can you? Because the reason why I've got concerns as well is that because you've got a certain reason, there has to be a reason why Eddie's leaving. Is it because he's frustrated with Sky, or Sky thinking, Eddie, you're not delivering the goods? These numbers
because he wants Matchroom to run everything, doesn't he? He wants to be his own production. That's why he done that.
Maybe so.
He wants to be one global machine.
Yeah, but maybe so. But Barney Francis, who fought for Eddie Hearn, isn't the head of Sky Sports. It's someone else who's
but the Zone's got the money. If he's getting nine-figure sponsors in that, he's going to go.
all right, the Zone's got the money, but there has to be a reason why he's thinking of leaving. Is he been delivering for Sky? Do Sky think so? If they don't think he's delivering Sky, will Sky, if he's gone, still put money into boxing? So I'm concerned. I'm concerned.
Well,
I'm concerned.
I think they will. Look, this might. I don't know how controversial this is, but it has been mentioned in the past. And Eddie Hearn himself likes talking about this. A lot of people see or believe that Matchroom is a slightly higher caliber and a slightly higher production than Frank Warren's Queensberry. This has sort of been mentioned a little bit in the past. Where this is. I'm not saying that that's how it is. I'm saying that there is a debate there. So the thing is, if Hearn is going to where the grass is perceived to be greener, I still believe that Sky are going to want to put some sort of boxing onto their platform. They are still going to want to have boxing there. Is it going to be high profile people like Anthony Joshua and God knows who else? No, it might be a lower level of boxing. So, it might just mean that we get to see more up and coming boxers and we have less big pay-per-view events. But I actually think that if Frank Warren is offered to go back to Sky, I think he would do it. I honestly think he would. But time will tell. I mean, if boxing it leaves Sky, if Eddie Hearn leaves and boxing just and Sky just knocks boxing on the head, for people like me, there's absolutely no reason for me to be a subscriber to Sky anymore. Sky Sports, that'd be it for me. So they're going to have to weigh up customer satisfaction and what the balance is there, because if a loss of revenue from boxing fans who only subscribe because they want to watch boxing, if that's going to be an issue, if it makes more financial sense to keep those people happy, they will. If they see people like me as being kind of expendable, they'll just knock it on the head, and I hope that doesn't happen.
I just think there's a great point there, Benji, but I look.
Are you sure about that? I thought it was a big crap point for that.
No. I can really see where you're coming from with the whole boxing fans. Do they want to leave, and will they leave if boxing goes? But the one thing I see from that is, I don't know obviously the figures and the amount of people who left, is when the WWE left Sky, because I think about a year ago, WWE left Sky Sports to go to BT Sports. And obviously, WWE is a sport or sports entertainment, whatever you want to call it. Their fans, a lot of them, are WWE fans and maybe not sport fans in general. That's a big market of they love WWE and that's what they love. So I think they will kind of have a look at that and see how many people they lost from WWE audience, and then weigh it up with the boxing audience and see how that does, because that's the only way I can see it. And there's obviously, fight sport wise, if Sky Sports lose boxing and they don't go with another promoter, then we look at BT. Obviously, Kenny Ken said about we don't know the future of BT, but then we look, they've got boxing, they've got the UFC, and they've got WWE. They've got like the three main fight sports, if you want to include WWE as a fight sport. So I think that's a really good point there, Benji, about how audience mix up and how the whole broadcasting landscape will move forward, because we really don't know. We're seeing companies like Amazon maybe coming for BT Sports. We're seeing DAZN come in. And we spoke about in the show, didn't we, about DAZN probably needing Premier League rights, and that could be their way to get it earlier if they get the rights of BT. That's Champions League as well. But we shall see. And
sorry, Benji.
Sorry, Jay. I was just going to say. Get you, Jay. Go on, Jay.
Oh no, I was just gonna say I don't think BT will go like Sky and won't have like the boxing. I just think they'll follow what Eddie done and had another streaming service just for the boxing, just so they can maybe get Queensbury to have more American fighters or more international fights, just to follow the same sort of business plans. I think Frank Warren's going to be loyal to BT. He went there after Sky. He gets pay-per-view TV. He's got a good little stable there. I just think that Sky should go with maybe the Sauerland brothers and just do like the World Super Series, because I'd like to follow that on Sky. I think that would be fantastic for Sky. Like we said before, maybe do next gen shows and maybe bring the prize fighters and that back to Sky. Have fun nights, interesting nights like that. So I think it'll work out for boxing and it'll all be great. So we'll see what happens in the future.
There's that amount of great British fighters there at the minute that I can't see Britain losing too many broadcasters. And I don't know if you saw, there was this thing, Fight Zone. Have you seen it this week? With the small hall promoters. It's like a streaming for the small hall promoters, which I think is absolutely fantastic. And if it was a good price point, it's something that I'd definitely invest in. I think the hardcore fans would certainly invest their money in that, to see the small hall shows being live streamed. But we'll move on from this conversation slightly.
I was just going to say,
go on, Benji. Go on, last point there.
One last thing. As I said before, Hearn thinks he's going over. The grass is greener on the other side. DAZN, I'm fairly confident DAZN will have presented Eddie Hearn with some kind of roadmap of what they plan to do over the next 5 to 10 years, whether it be which will include getting rights to football and other sports. They'll have said to Eddie Hearn, this is how we're going to grow the platform. We want you to be a part of it. This is the potential revenue it could bring in. And that's what's made Eddie Hearn go, yeah, the grass is greener. I want to be part of that. So that's probably been a big influence in his decision, that he knows what DAZN have got planned and what they're aiming to do.
Well, it's not a coincidence that he's now chairman of Matchroom, so you can see probably darts going over, snooker. Like we say, the whole Matchroom's going to be on DAZN. So yeah, Benji, it's going to be a global takeover by Matchroom. I can see happening here. They're going to do their own production, and so yeah, it's going to be big stuff for Matchroom.
Great. And obviously, Matchroom Media, and they've just teamed up or partnered or bought Loop, I think it was. This big streaming thing I saw on social media the other day. I'm not exactly sure what it is, but I'm sure we'll find out if it is big. But come on, Noel Mitchell, we'll come to your question now. It's been sitting there for a while. Well, lads, who does Dillian Whyte fight next? Kenny, we'll keep this one short, get back to the shows in questions. But Kenny, who do you think and who do you want Dillian Whyte to fight next?
I want Dillian Whyte to fight for a world title. I want him to fight. I want him to fight, get what he deserves. I want him to fight Anthony Joshua, get a rematch. I don't want him to fight. I've had enough of someone knocking on doors that have been smashed open repeatedly, and then he's going to have to. I mean, come on, even Dereck Chisora's had a world title fight. This is perverse now. It's perverse. There's nothing against Dereck Chisora. It's perverse. The guy has done his dues. If Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua does not happen, Dillian Whyte fights Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury fights Wilder. Stop holding back this guy's career or for a super fight. Do your duty to this bloke.
Definitely. He's obviously been waiting. Everyone knows how long he waited before he got knocked out by Povetkin. And now I just hope he isn't back to square one. Jay, who would you like to see him fight? Maybe from a title point of view or just a pure entertainment, proper fight point of view?
Well, I reckon he should go for the WBA regular title, because I think that could be up for grabs. I've seen him maybe looking at that route, because that's a possible some type of world title while he's waiting. Because let's be real, we all want to see Fury AJ first over Dillian Whyte versus any of them two men. So maybe see that in the future. But if not, I'd like to see him fight Andy Ruiz Jr. if Andy Ruiz Jr. wins at the weekend.
Fantastic fight.
It's a world level fighter. Like, if you're at world level, you just got to keep fighting world level. No point fighting levels below, because you want to keep to that standard. So keep with that, or maybe fight the winner of Hrgovic and Michael Hunter. I think that's a good fight for Dillian Whyte afterwards. So I'd either go for any of them three fights.
Benji?
What Jay has just said is very realistic. The names that he's put out there, very realistic, quite probable. For my own personal fantasy, though, Whyte versus Wilder, I just love it. I would absolutely love it. More than likely not going to happen because politics and whatever. But for me, if I had to put two heavyweights in the ring tomorrow, Whyte and Wilder probably would be top of the list. Outside of AJ.
Lovely.
Fury.
Yeah, obviously. Goes without saying. Without saying. And here we go. We'll talk about the card again as we did get cut off. We'll do it briefly and we'll talk about the one fight I think we haven't spoke about in depth, and that is Craig Richards and Dimitri Bivol. But what a night we've got. We've got Johnny Fisher versus Phil Williams. We've got Campbell Hatton back against Levi Dunn. We've got Scott Fitzgerald, the madman, back after a long layoff and dealt with some personal issues. Great seeing him back. We've got Chris Eubank Jr. versus Marcus Morrison, James Tennyson versus Giovanni Staffon for the vacant IBO lightweight title. We've got Dimitri Bivol versus Craig Richards. We have Katie Taylor versus Natasha Jonas for the undisputed lightweight female titles. And main eventing, we have Dereck Chisora versus Joseph Parker. And when I say it all like that, it does sound like an absolute stacked card, and it's a card I cannot wait for. And we will be doing a watch along tomorrow on Pet Talk UK. Kenny, kick us off. What do you think about this fight between Craig Richards and Dimitri Bivol?
I think I must say, I shake Craig Richards' hand and say, mate, you know what? When I heard that he was taking on Bivol, I went, hello. I'll tell you one thing, right? You can't look him for ambition. You know what? He generally believes he can beat this guy, and he's fought and he's taken a lot of people's O's in his previous fights. He lost once. He lost to a big Leone, a fight I watched about 4 years ago. I think it was in Cardiff. Was it on the undercard of Joshua Takam? I don't know. 4 years ago. Yeah, it was the undercard of Takam. Joshua, and that's when I started thinking, where I thought, he lost, and he did lose pretty heavily to Big Leone on the unanimous. But in terms of what he's done since then, he's got a puncher's chance, and he has to go with a plan. But I look at Bivol, and I look at someone who can hit, and has got detonate in both hands. Plus, he can box as well. I really, really want him to do it. I'm desperate for him to do it. I'm desperate for him to prove me wrong. But I'm going for maybe 10th round stoppage for Bivol.
Really? Is it a stoppage for Bivol? He's one of those fighters that seems to do just everything really well and really slick, and he's so accurate, Dimitri Bivol. He's so accurate. He's obviously got fantastic wins over Jean Pascal, Joe Smith Jr., and that Joe Smith Jr. wins.
He hasn't fought for about 18 months, though. He hasn't fought for about maybe 18 months. He's been out of action, and I think, I know, I don't, obviously, a skill is skill. You know, if you're a top fighter, then I don't see any inactivity being a major obstacle. But I am in favour. I do. Kind of when I see a fight out of action, I always think, well, you're fighting a live fighter. It's not. You are going to. I do worry about timing issues. Doesn't matter how good you are. Timing's always an issue, especially in the first few rounds.
Benji, what do you make of Craig Richards versus Dimitri Bivol? Could we see a major upset here?
I hope so. I'm firmly in Craig Richards' corner. I really hope he does it. I really hope he wins. These two guys got a hell of a lot in common, to be honest. Richard's 6'1", 31 years old. Bivol's 36 foot. So, both 17 fights. Obviously, Richard's got a couple of losses. He's going to have to be smart. He's going to have to be really smart and really clever. I thought the tactics that he employed against Big Shaq was good. The way that fight developed, the way that he basically downloaded Big Shaq's skill set and vulnerabilities over the course of the rounds and then adapted to it. That's not easy to do. It really isn't. That, you've got to be a hell of a, have a hell of a skill set to be able to do that. He must stay away from Bivol's right hand. Must do. If he gets caught by that right hand, it's going to be game over pretty damn quick. So
sorry to interrupt, Benji. Just going to introduce Xavier Miller, trainer of Dillian Whyte, formerly worked with Dereck Chisora. Big fight at the weekend. First of all, Xavier, how are you, sir?
Oh, I'm good, man. How are you guys doing?
Good, thank you.
I don't mind being interrupted by boxing royalty. It's good to see you, Zav.
Yeah, I apologise, Benji. We will finish that conversation, but had to introduce Xavier. Big card tomorrow night. Are you looking forward to it, Xavier? And what fights are you looking forward to? Obviously, we know that with Chisora in the past, and it's just a fantastic card from top to bottom. I'm sure you agree.
Yeah, listen, I think it's one of the best cards for a while, to be honest with you. Obviously, when the fight was announced, the main event, it's a good, very good fight. But the card itself is fantastic. And the fight I'm looking forward to most is Natasha Jonas v Taylor. That's the fight I want to see the most, because I think she was robbed the chance to really win that world title with that draw. I think she well deserved to win that fight, and I'm just hoping she does it this time round. She's a talent. I met her for the first time in the bubble, I think, for Whyte Povetkin won, and I said to her, listen, you did really, really well. I thought you won. I just hope you get it next time. So I'm rooting for her, even though I respect and really like what Katie Taylor's done for boxing, female boxing in particular.
Yeah, brilliant. We spoke about it. Very mixed opinions with our panel here about who does take that fight, and maybe has Taylor maybe fought so much at the elite level that it could just be Natasha Jonas's time. But we was just talking, as you joined, about Craig Richards versus Dimitri Bivol. What's your thoughts on that fight, Xavier?
Yeah, I mean, with Craig, because I used to have a lot of fighters in the amateurs with my amateur boxing club, Knees and IQ. We used to travel everywhere, and I've seen him box before, especially when we used to go to shows in South London, Balham shows, etc. And I thought he was always going to be a good fighter. I always thought he'd make a good pro. And I think he's done things the right way. He's had a lot of good fights at domestic level, and I think the time is now. He's in his prime, and I think with the layoff, I think is it Bivol. I think he's had a little bit of time out of the ring. It affects every fighter in different ways. So let's hope he's not as sharp as he would normally be. But look, take nothing away. I really want Craig Richards to win. And I'm only thinking about a victory for him. I'm not even thinking about anything else, to be honest with you. I just hope that he gets that victory.
Yeah. I know, Jay, you fancy it, don't you? I think you were saying to me earlier that you've got a little feeling. If you just want to explain that.
I don't know. You get some fights, don't you? And you think, oh, I don't really fancy that fight for that fighter. But as soon as I heard it, and all week, I've just got a feeling inside. I think Richards could pull an upset.
Yeah, good. See, good energy. I'm with you. Good energy. That's what I need to
positive.
hear.
You always back the British fighter. You know me on the channel. I always back the fighters, no matter who they are. I don't know. I just got a feeling Richards very confident. He did have a poor performance against Chad Sugden, where he got a draw. I think Richards will be the only one who defeats himself at the weekend. I think if he comes on a top performance, Bivol being out for 18 months, come in with his long arms, come in with some jabs, work the movement. Bivol's very aggressive, so I think Richards could pip him off if he wants to. You look at his last fight against Peters, absolutely hit him with a great shot. There's two big guys in it. It's like heavyweights for the world title. It's a very, very interesting fight. But yeah, I've got a bet for Richards to win, and come on, Richards. I'm going for Richards all day.
Oh, it'd be fantastic. Add another British world champion. It'd be great. Yeah. We've obviously got a lot of opportunities for new British world champions this week, not least Sonny Edwards tonight against Mthalane. It's going to be a great fight, and I'm really looking forward to that one. We've said about Jonas, great opportunity, and we've got Craig Richards. We'll move on then back to the main event. It's been a recurring theme all night. Xavier, what's your opinions on this? Do you think it's Do you think it's a fight that Dereck Chisora could really take to Joseph Parker? And do you think the change in trainers for both fighters could play a part in this fight?
With Dereck, it's interesting. I think I know in recent times, he's got himself in really good shape, and he's basically boxed at like 100 miles an hour. I personally don't think that's what worked for Dereck. Dereck is a lot more talented than what people give him credit for. He can fight in close. He can catch and shoot quite well. He works the body really well. He's more effective against guys that actually come to fight him. That's why he was really effective in the Takam fight. Because the plan was obviously to land the better punches, not try and match him for work rate. So we were working on a lot of those sort of things. Stabbing to the body, and and looking for the overhand right. And Dereck's always had that punch. That's something that he worked on for years with Don. So it depends what Joseph Parker does. If Parker decides to try and box, use the ring, he's going to give Dereck a lot of problems. Because I think with Dereck, the footwork is not the best. If he has to box movers, he has a lot of problems. But if you stand and fight him, Dereck gets a lot of success. So I think it's more depends on what Joseph Parker's going to do. We know what Dereck's going to do. And like I said, in recent times, that's how he's gone about his business, is get really, really fit, throw a lot of punches and try and wear guys down. The only problem with that is that when you fight that way, a lot of times you end up making yourself tired. And that's why, to me, towards the end of fights, Dereck doesn't look quite as good. I like Dereck better when he fights in spurts. That's when I think he produces his best work. So interesting fight. At this stage, I don't know how motivated Parker is anymore. With Dereck, he always gives a good effort. Always gives everything. With Parker recently, I don't know. I'm not sold on Parker. I actually didn't think he won the fight against Ruiz either. I thought he lost it by a round.
Hey, Xavier, can I just ask you a question? Because obviously you know Dereck very well. One of the things I was saying before you came on the pod is my biggest concern was, how would you, like, in terms of a lot of these fights, your fighter now, Dillian Whyte, where Dereck kind of looked good is when Dillian engaged with him. And I think the same thing with Takam engaged with him. But a lot of times when you look at Dereck's defeats, with the exception of David A, who knocked his spark out, a lot of the people have managed to create a distance where Dereck has found it difficult to, get, close the gaps and close that distance down in order to do his good work. So if you were, say you're in Dereck's corner tomorrow and you know that Parker's going to fight, he's going to try and keep that distance. He's going to go by the double jab and he's going to try and hit him from long range in order to keep Dereck carried. How would you get Dereck to close that distance?
With a jab. I mean, it's a lot of times with guys, they seem to think because a guy's got like a, because he's got that cross arm defense, and he balls forward, he comes in low and then throws sometimes wide hooks. It doesn't mean you don't use a jab to set it up. I think if Dereck uses a jab, sometimes he can offset, especially that jab to the body, which worked, quite well sometimes against Takam. That's what I like to see.
He didn't do that enough. When he's fought against when he fought Uzi, I didn't see enough with that. Like there were times he had in the ropes where because of they played for athleticism, but I just always thought that there was a gas situation. He ran out of gas in those sort of situations. And I think that's my biggest concern with Dereck is, his inability against, fighters, with longer range, his inability to close that gap down.
Yeah, guys who control range really well obviously will give Dereck problems, but his job is to close that gap, and sometimes he's really, really, really effective. It just depends. Like I said, it more depends on what version of Parker we're going to get. That's my opinion in this fight. I want to see what Parker's going to do. With Dereck, we already know.
Definitely. We're going to be coming back to this fight throughout the time we're on here because it's obviously the main event of the pay-per-view. But Ron Stone says Whyte versus Ruiz. It's a fight that here on the panel before you joined, Xavier, we was talking about it. So I'll just ask the panel what you think of that fight. And finally, we'll come to you, obviously, training Dillian Whyte, what you think of this. So we'll start off with Jay. What do you think about that fight? I know you are all up for that fight.
I'm all over that. All over that. You got Dillian Whyte, who's just so entertaining. He's proved that he'll fight anybody. And then you've got Andy Ruiz. He's got the quickest hand for a big guy. Well, I wouldn't even say he's a big guy now. Looking at his new pictures, he looks in great shape. He's got a great trainer in Eddie Reynoso and Canelo. He looks like he's in the right mindset. I think, apart from Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury, I think the next two in line is Whyte and Ruiz. I think they're the next two best. I know Wilder's been there, but I think Andy Ruiz would beat Wilder, and I think Whyte would beat Wilder. So I think, for the fans, that would be an absolute epic fight. I don't know what Xavier thinks about that fight. We'll hear in a minute, but I just think for an entertaining point of view, it's fantastic. And I think for both fighters, it's a great fight for both of them at this time in their career.
Yeah, definitely. I'll just add this in. The Ruiz Arreola weigh-in has just been. And Andy Ruiz Jr. has come in at 256 pounds, which is 27 pounds lighter than he did for Anthony Joshua versus Ruiz, their second fight. Benji, Whyte versus Ruiz. What's your initial thoughts on it?
It's a good fight. You got two guys that, to be honest, maybe the actual boxing ability is underestimated. People look at Dillian Whyte and they see a big guy with a big left hook, goes to the body well, and a lot of knockouts. But I think, I'm not just saying this because his coach is here, but I think there's a bit more to Dillian Whyte than that. He got very long arms, can jab, can move, got a good ring IQ from what I've seen. Andy Ruiz as well, I think is kind of maybe one of the most underrated or underestimated heavyweights of the modern age. I mean, pulling off the upset over AJ that he did, and he always seems to give whoever he's in with a tough fight. A lot of people think he beat Parker, for instance. Yeah, as Jay said, got very fast hands. And I'm interested to see what this new version of him that's 27 pounds lighter is going to be like. So it's another one of those fights in the heavyweight division that would be a fantastic matchup. Really would. I'd love it. Make it happen.
Kenny, before we get to Xavier, what do you think? Dillian Whyte versus Andy Ruiz. Well, it's just a fantastic fight, isn't it?
You know my view in it, and I'm glad to say this. Why is Dillian Whyte having to prove himself all over again? He's had 3 years of doing that. Dillian Whyte should be fighting for a world title. He should, there's nothing set in stone with Joshua and Fury. The next cabinet rank, if that doesn't happen, if Fury has to fight Wilder, which we all know in boxing, there's a trilogy contract. I don't see any reason why Dillian Whyte should not fight Anthony Joshua for the world title. I don't see any reason why not. Why not? How many warm-up fights does he have to have? How many Andy Ruiz does he have to fight? We've already seen him fight Rivas. We've already seen him fight Parker. We've seen him fight Povetkin. Who else does he have to beat? Does he have to? Is he going to
champion though, Ken? Because he will be a great champion. He's fighting the best.
He's fighting the best, but I want to see him get his just desserts.
Yeah, but politics don't allow that, does it? The politics. At least he's not fighting bums. At least he's fighting the best while he's waiting.
Hang on it. Politics allowed Dereck Chisora to fight for a world title. We've got a fighter that is in skill set is better fighting than Dereck Chisora. Dillian Whyte is only Spurs. I did not want to see Dillian Whyte. I know you politics. All right, I know it's politics. I don't want to see Dillian Whyte fighting Ruiz. I want to see Dillian Whyte fight a world title. I'm not interested in that fight. I'm not interested in fighting Walter. I want Dillian Whyte to fight for the world title because that's what he deserves.
Let's be devil's advocate here, though. He did have the opportunity last year to fight Joshua, and he said no. I know Xavier's there in that. I don't know the situation, but the guy was offered. He was offered an opportunity. I don't know what happened there, but I'm just saying he was offered an opportunity. But
Dillian, come out!
I would love Dillian Whyte to be world champion. Of course I would. But I'm saying, if he's not going to get a chance for the world title, at least he's fighting the best that's out there. That's all we can ask for. And he's fighting the best. Right. He's beating the best, and that's that.
Jay, how many friendly internationals do you want to see like England or Italy play before
this is boxing. This ain't football. This is boxing.
He's gone now.
Someone's upset.
A little man. No. This interview's dead.
He's done a little man. Right, guys. If you're watching, hit that subscribe button. We've got Xavier Miller in the live. And finally, after all that, Xavier, What do you think of this fight? First of all, Dillian Whyte versus Andy Ruiz. Is it a good fight for Whyte? Do you like that for Whyte? Could it happen? But really, we want to know what you think of Jay and Kenny's comments. But we'll come back to that after. But we'll start off Dillian Whyte versus Andy Ruiz.
I think any Dillian Whyte fan will be frustrated at this point that he hasn't got a world title shot yet. I mean, I've said this in previous interviews. There's not a fighter who hasn't fought for a world title with a better resume than Dillian Whyte, hands down. So he deserves a world title fight. We know that, but obviously these fights are tied up right now. So Dillian's doing the right thing. He keeps fighting good competition, keeps learning on the job, and he keeps getting good victories. So the Andy Ruiz fight, I love that fight. I think stylistically, it's going to make for a great fight. Dillian beats him. No doubt. But outside of that, Wilder's out there. Looking at Fury, Joshua. I mean, it's just they all make good matchups. So right now, Dillian's in a really good place. He said his lack of amateur experience, he's made up for that with the names on his resume. So he's more than ready to fight one of these world champions. More than ready, and that's what we're really looking forward to. But Dillian's not the kind of person that's going to sit around. These names will keep coming up over and over again, and he'll pick one of them. So, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, definitely. Well,
very diplomatic, Xavier. Very
yeah,
diplomatic.
very diplomatic. I like your style. But Xavier, what's Dillian like at the minute? Obviously, it was a fantastic win over Povetkin. Congratulate yourself on that, and Dillian and the whole team.
Thank you.
But what goes on now? Obviously, Eddie said he'd like him to fight in the US. Obviously, I don't know what you can say at the minute, but what dates are in mind? When do you think Dillian will be back out?
To be honest, the most important thing to me is that Dillian's already back training. He's already in the gym. We got in really good shape. Obviously, the whole Povetkin saga, meant that there's so many delays and so on and so forth that I was out in Portugal with him for the whole year. So we were always in the gym. And that's where I want Dillian. He loves boxing. He loves learning. So that's the most important thing to me right now. I mean, obviously, I'll be going out there soon to get ready for the next fight. But I don't even know who it's going to be or what's going to happen. I don't know. I haven't spoken to him about that yet. I as soon as I got back the next day after Gibraltar, I had to spend the last 3 weeks with Kay Prosper, who just boxed Sandor Martin for the European title. It's a real shame because I tried to get Kay out to Portugal so I could oversee the whole camp. Because of Portugal went into the red zone, you couldn't fly from the UK to into Portugal. Yeah, and that was frustrating for Kay because obviously, Kay hasn't lost the fight for about 4 years. Ever since Kay joined me about 3 years ago, and he had lost the Southern Era fight. We managed to win an English title, and we were waiting for a couple of years for the British title. He's been in really good form. So he went into this fight with a lot of confidence, even though it was a big jump. I mean, he skipped British, skipped Commonwealth, straight for European. The guy was number 7 in WBC. So obviously it was a big ask. Obviously the referee didn't help out there, but it was difficult. It was really difficult because I like to be with my fighters for the whole camp. No one wants their head coach not to be there. And all I basically did was oversee the sparring. It wasn't enough, but Kay was fit. He did what I asked him. I said, listen, the most important thing is get fit. It's going to be your first 12 rounder. It's going to be your first fight up at that level. And, you're going to need to be at the top of your game. So to be fair to Kay, he did his best. But yeah, it was a difficult time, but, obviously I'll go on to do something else. But, it's going to be the same situation again. I'm going to be going back out to Portugal. Yusuf Kamari going to have to come out there with me. K-Pro's going to have to come out there as well. And I've got a couple of new fighters as well, female fighters. Sadem, unbeaten in the amateurs. She'll be going shortly. It was going to be amazing. And I've got a new bantamweight as well, Plamedy. He won a national title with me as well in the amateurs. So, yeah, the future's bright right now. But, yeah, with Dillian, I just wait for the phone call and then the whole team will get back out.
Brilliant. Yeah, it's whenever Dillian Whyte fights, I'm sure the whole panel will agree that we just love it on the channel and every fight fan does. And he's just one of those fighters that whatever fight, again, like Dillian, like Dereck Chisora, all of his fights are so entertaining, and that's why people love him.
But
But going back,
if for the best, that's what I was trying to say earlier. Like that's what I mean. I would love Dillian Whyte to be world champion, like we all would. But if he's not getting the opportunity due to politics, he's fighting the best out there. So
exactly,
I agree with that.
Exactly.
He's the uncrowned champion, really. To me, he is pretty much a world champion with his resume, like we said earlier. I think he's great, but with these politics at the top, it's difficult for him to get a world title shot. WBC mandatory for how many years? Do you know? Like, it is a disgrace.
It wouldn't be smart to sit around because this happened to loads of guys. You know, in previously in history, you know, you sit around waiting for that fight. You're not active, and next minute, you know, your prime's gone. You know, Dillian's doing the right thing. He's fighting good guys. And at the end of the day, listen, these are prize fighters. You know, you fight. Yeah. You know, you try and make your way, get your way at the ladder, and you've got to make as much money as you can in the sport because when it's over, it's over. So he's doing the right thing to me. To me personally, that's just my personal opinion. I'm glad that he's fighting good competition.
The WBA route for the WBA regular title, maybe
the regular title.
I think that would be a good option.
I never ever had these kind of conversations with Dillian. Like I said, I'm the same I am with every boxer in my gym. I'm just a teacher. You know, when we get in the gym, it's just about training and improving them. It's not a lot of times not even about the opponent. I just want them to be the best fighter they can be. So I very rarely do I have this kind of conversation with Dillian. Dillian will just call me and say to me, right, we need to come out. We got to get back into camp. And that's it. That is it.
Brilliant.
Well,
brilliant. Obviously,
so Kenny. Thing, in terms of the fight, look, I have no doubt in my mind that Dillian Whyte beats every heavyweight out there. For me, he beats everyone out there. Everyone talks about Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua. If you want me to exclude them, I'll feel for it. Every other half fight, Dillian Whyte is just too good, too strong, and he's as a lot of people have said, he's learned the job. When I first saw him fight, I thought, anyway, this guy looks like a kickboxer rather than a boxer. But I think since then, his skill set is like he seems to have picked things up really quickly. Obviously, from you because you're a teacher, but before, remember, you had Mark teachers as well. And I think what's happening is that every time I see Dillian Whyte fight, even I see a different level, and I think, bloody hell, this guy, it's like and I think with Dillian Whyte, I think there's more to come. I really do think
there's a lot more. There's a lot more to come. Yeah. No one's seen the best of Dillian yet. What I see, that's what I think, Xavier. And that's what I think, Xavier. And I think what's happening is that in his next fight, if I was any of these guys like Ruiz or Whyte, I'd think, you know what, just stay away from him. I do worry though, Xavier, about Whyte's detonator right hand, but I trust that you will have something. You'll be able to work around that. I've got faith.
Xavier, you said he's nowhere near his best yet. When do you think we will see the prime years of Dillian Whyte?
6 to 12 months.
Yeah. Is that how fast he's growing?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Dillian's still he's young for a heavyweight. He's young for a heavyweight. You know, and he's because he's fought such good competition. You know, he's in a very, very good space. I mean, he's in a good stage in his career where he's ready. If you get that phone call right now, no hesitation, we're going to fight one of the world champions. It's not. It wouldn't be a case of we haven't fought enough good guys, or you haven't got that problem with Dillian. He's ready to go now. No.
He's fitter as well. He's a lot fitter. He's a lot fitter than when he was. You know, his fitness levels as well. But just, like I always thought that fight again. You know that fight when he fought Anthony Joshua. Me and my wife were at the O2 in 2015 December, and I always thought. Me and my wife kept talking. If only this guy was fit. You know what I mean? If only he's fit. But I'm like I said. You know, in terms of doing.
But he's fit. He's fit now. He's fit now.
That's it.
I think his jab's underestimated as well. I think he's really improved his jab. And I just think over the past probably 3 years, there isn't a more improved heavyweight, certainly probably British boxer than Dillian Whyte, because he's gone from a really rugged, raw fighter with a lot of talent and a lot of potential. And he's just been moulded. I'm not just saying it because you're here, Xavier, because it's been a long process. But Dillian Whyte is for me, well, for everyone. I don't know anyone who doesn't put Dillian Whyte in their top 5 heavyweights. And a
No,
lot
I
of people
agree.
put them in their top 3.
Also,
So-
what I like about Dillian Whyte, Joe, is my biggest asset is his characteristics. I think for a guy who's gone through what he's gone through, and when he went through the drug testing thing that happened, where he had the weight when that WBC shot got took away after waiting all them years, the way he's bounced back. Also, in his last fight, he had was it a hamstring injury or a leg injury that no one knew about, which he come back in a rematch, which was a must win fight. To go through that mindset, I just love Dillian Whyte's mindset, and what I love about him is he improves even with a loss, or if something goes against him, he improves with that. Some people will let it affect them in a negative way. Dillian thrives on it, and I love the way that Dillian, well, that Anthony Joshua loss, he come back better against Povetkin, come back better in his last fight. Yeah, the character's key for me, and we said about it on a previous show, and that's what I love about fighters. If you've got a character, it's a win-win for me.
Definitely. 100% agree with that. 100%.
Sorry, guys, I'm just seeing the decision here coming for Michael Conlan versus Baluta, and Michael Conlan has just took it. It was really close. I think two of the judges gave it 114, 114, was it? And then the other judge gave it maybe, I think it was 117 to, I couldn't hear it all the way, but Michael Conlan retains his undefeated record in a really tough fight. I can't wait to watch that back. And we've got Sonny Edwards versus Mthalane next for the world title. Another great opportunity for
when's that fight start?
It's next. So it'll probably be in about 15, 20 minutes.
Oh, yeah, sorry, guys, I've got another couple of minutes and I've got to run, man.
Okay, that's brilliant. So we'll quickly go back to Dereck Chisora, Xavier, before you have to leave us. Obviously, you know him very well. What did you make?
I don't know him that well, because remember, Don Charles is head trainer. I only really was involved in a full camp. I would say for the Takam fight, I was fully involved. Yes. But obviously, because we all train in Don Charles' gym, so I know Dereck in the gym because all my fighters were training there. But I don't know Dereck well. There were specific things that Don wanted me to work on with Dereck. That's what it was. So, but yeah, obviously, listen, because there's history there. I always want Dereck to win. I mean, I always want the UK guy to win anyway. It's and another loss. I don't know how much more, Dereck can give to the sport if he takes another loss here. He's always in big fights, but there's only so many times you can go back to the well or, be called up for big fights. So you want to be in this sport, you need to be relevant. You've got to be relevant, especially if you want to be a pay-per-view fighter. So to me, he needs to win this fight. In my opinion, he needs to win this fight. I've actually got the fight down as a draw, but that's only because the odds were good. But if it's so hopefully that comes through because I'm not great with bets, but sometimes I get lucky. So.
But
Hey,
obviously,
what do you think about Fabio Wardley and Babic in the stable with Dillian Whyte? Sorry, Joe.
That's a great question, Joe.
Listen, good question. Listen, Savage was there as a sparring partner for the first Povetkin fight. Great guy. I did a couple of training sessions with him. He's another one. He listens really well, like Dillian. He listens well. He wants to learn more. He wants to be exciting. He wants to be relevant. And he wants to challenge himself. He doesn't really want any easy fights. Babic wants to go now, and that's his energy. That's his energy throughout the whole camp. Fabio, listen, he speaks really well. I think that he's got a good chance to be a really big star. He's got that character, that personality. He can punch, and from where he's come from, being involved in like white collar boxing, to skip the amateurs and to be competing against these guys. He just has to do what Dillian done and be smart, learn on the job, get the right kind of fights so he can progress. But both of them are really exciting, obviously. And Dillian's obviously signed my super featherweight, Yusuf Kamari. Again, Yusuf's got a very similar mindset to Dillian. He wants to be involved in exciting fights. He wants to be a fan-friendly kind of fighter. So, he'll probably be on the next, hopefully be on the undercard of Dillian's next fight. But yeah, I mean, all the guys that's with Dillian. I mean, Dillian picks these guys because of their character and how much they want it. Another one, Chris Congo. Chris Congo was special for the amateurs. Brilliant fighter. I just spoke to him today. WhatsApp live. He's obviously in camp with Josh Taylor, and I said to him, "Listen, this is the kind of experience that you need." When I was learning to be a coach, I travelled all over the world and watched all different coaches. That's how I learnt my craft. It's very important for these boxers to travel and understand what it is in these other countries, because even countries like Spain, you go to France, they've got very good fighters, very good coaches, and everyone does everything a little bit different. You need to get that experience. And him out in Vegas, probably the best thing that could happen to Chris, because he is very, very good, technically very, very good. That's probably what they're probably going to be the make or break of Chris is traveling and being involved in good camps. I'm trying to do the same. I'm trying to set up the same thing for Youssef. That's the only thing he's missing, is that we fought in international tournaments in the amateurs, but to actually be involved in big camps, very, very important, especially for where Youssef wants to go. So, yeah, Chris is doing the right thing. But yeah, the whole stable, the whole camp. Obviously, again, John Harding Jr. He's getting older, but again, he gives 100%. I hope he gets one more chance. I've only really started training John maybe the past 8-9 months. But again, we're very, very close. Talk to John Harding Jr. all the time. Great guy. So yeah, it's a good spirit in the camp. You've got a good team, and obviously, Dillian's has got his strength and conditioning team. It's fantastic, and they're out there practically the whole year. Out in Portugal, and obviously the addition of Harold Knight as well. A lot of experience with Lennox Lewis. Very, very smart choice. It's something that I called for as soon as I got appointed. I said, let's build a team. Build a team. It's very important to build a team, because you can't do it all on your own. I like being around boxing people. I didn't know who they were going to bring in, but yeah, I was happy with their choice. And it's been good. It's been good to be involved in that in a camp out there. I've managed to settle out there now, because I'm kind of sport at home, because in my gym I've got everything. I've got my own strength and conditioning. I've got my own coaches, and I've got that run the gyms and so on. So anything I need is on deck. When I went out to Portugal, kind of had to start again and rebuild a team. So Dillian's done that. He always makes smart choices anyway, and it's been good. Very good. But listen, guys, Brilliant. I've got to run. Listen, it's been a pleasure, man. Hopefully,
fantastic.
Whenever you want me to come on, just the Pro Bees will just text me, and I'm more than happy whenever you're ready. No problem. Brilliant.
Xavier Miller, head trainer of Dillian Whyte, and all-round brilliant guys he's just showed there. Thank you so much for joining there.
You're welcome, guys. Have a good evening. Take care.
Cheers. Thank you so much, my friend. Brilliant. What a great insight that was. Xavier Miller, what he thought of the Dereck Chisora fight, what he thinks of the Craig Richards fight, and just seeing that whole stable, how he works for him, and his dynamic with Harold Knight. Absolutely brilliant there. But I think now it's a good time to turn to Sonny Edwards versus Mthalane. It's a great fight for me.
Yeah.
Big.
Where's that starting? I'm gonna love you lot to leave you. Go and watch it downstairs.
Yeah, no, you'll have to, Kenny, because you don't want to upset that missus after last week.
No.
Mine's gonna
see that thumb.
Mate, don't worry, but mine's gonna kill me. I've got fish and chips waiting for me. It's gone cold. Went cold about an hour ago. It's gonna be in the cat soon. It's gonna be in the cat.
If you need to leave,
I might do, Joe, but the thing is, I haven't got BT Sport, so the only way I get to watch this fight is you commentating on it. So I might as well stay here.
You might as well stay there, Kenny. Kenny, are you leaving, sir?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to leave you as well. I've got some
all right, cool.
For me
very quickly. What's your prediction for Sonny Edwards versus Mthalane?
Stop itching this knife round for Mthalane, I'm afraid. Too soon.
I hope not. Obviously, we all back the British guys on Pep Talk UK. But thank you, Kenny Ken. Always a pleasure.
I loved it. Joe, we're never going to agree we agree on a lot, but not on a lot of things.
And that is the debate, and it's been a great show tonight.
It's all good debate, and that's good. It's a debate.
Brilliant. And that's the thing. We'll all talk. We're all best friends after the show, and we'll be the exact same for the next live. So no hard feelings, anyone in the debates. But see you soon, anyway, Kenny. Thanks for joining us, mate.
Take care, Kenny.
Take care.
See you, mate.
So, where Fife has become free in the past couple of minutes. Sonny Edwards versus Mthalane. Benji, what do you make of it? It's huge step up.
It is, but as I said, I think Sonny Edwards is a very, very talented young boxer, and maybe it is too soon. It's always a possibility that this is a bit too soon, but then again, it could be getting the guy at the right time because he's not, Mthalane, he's not getting any younger. So we'll see. We'll see. I hope he can do it. I really hope he can. As I said, like right at the start of when we started this broadcast, Sonny Edwards is quite a divisive person on the old social media. A lot of people don't like him. So, unfortunately, a lot of people are going to be hoping he gets knocked out and beaten on whatsoever. I'm not one of those people. I really not. I hope he can do it. But he's going to have to. Well, maybe this will be the night that we find out just how good he is, or we start getting an idea of that.
Yeah, I have to say, I really do love him. I think he's great for the sport. He's someone like that. And I feel like he has toned down a bit on social media over the past couple of months. And I just love that ring gear. Have you seen it for tonight? The Shoka ring gear. Absolutely beautiful. Guys, get your predictions in. Sonny Edwards versus Mthalane. Big step up. Jay, what's your opinions on this?
A tough fight for Sonny Edwards. Mthalane, is that his name? Have I pronounced it right?
Yeah, Mthalane. Yes, it will.
Mthalane. He's got a great record: 39 wins, 2 losses, 63% KO ratio. To be honest, it could be a tough fight. Like Benji said, it could be the right moment for Sonny Edwards. The guy's 38. He ain't fought in a year and a half, but he's unbeaten in 13 years. His last loss was to Donaire back in 2008, and we all know Donaire's a great fighter. So this guy's fought at world level for a long time. I think he's been world champion or won his first world title about 10 years ago. So it's a really tough fight. If we look at it, Sonny Edwards has only got 4 KOs from 15 fights. So maybe the power, this guy's obviously felt power fighting in a lot of world title fights. So maybe that may be a factor. I like Sonny Edwards. I like him because he's got a chip on his shoulder. And I like fighters that have got a chip on their shoulder because they've got something to prove. And I think Sonny Edwards is screaming to win this world title. When you're in a shadow of a sibling who's in the same sport as you, who got to the world title before you, all eyes were on him. Some sort of way, he was probably envious because he's a boxer in his own right. So I think he's been in his brother's shadow for a couple of years, in his own opinion, and this is time for him to shine. I think he's jumped in a bit too soon, maybe. I would have liked maybe 2 or 3 more fights at European level, maybe. He's been dropped. If I look in on my notes that I put down, he got dropped against Marcel Braithwaite.
He got dropped another time as well.
Yeah, he did against Junio Granados. I think that maybe that it's an in between for Sonny Edwards here because I don't think he's had enough challenges at world or European level to say, like we were saying earlier with Dillian Whyte, he's ready for a world title. Sonny's in that position where a couple more fights could have benefited him, but I believe because he's got a chip on his shoulder, he's got something to prove. He's dived in for this world title fight, and good luck. I'd love him to win tonight. I'd absolutely love it, but I think he may come up short. But I want him to win.
The thing is, even if Sonny Edwards doesn't win this, he's had what 15 fights? Yeah, 15 fights. He's got a whole career ahead of him. This is not, this is not going to be the end. He should box like it is. He should leave it all in there and go for it. But if this is too soon, I don't think he really loses anything.
No, great experience.
This isn't like take for instance, like Joseph Parker. I'd say has got a hell of a lot more weight on his shoulders to beat Chisora, and likewise, Chisora's career might hang in the balance tomorrow night.
I agree with you there, Benji, but I think Edwards might be putting the pressure on himself too much where his brother's been world champion. So that may be the factor in this fight where he feels if he loses, although Charlie lost his first world title fight, didn't he, quite early in his career? He went really early for a world title.
Yeah.
But I feel like most people who have siblings and that, there's always that rivalry.
Oh, yeah.
And his brother's been world champion. So I think the pressure for him tonight will be obviously to win the world title, which is his dream.
I still live next door to my brother. He's got a Ferrari in his garage. I haven't. I'm still. I'm trying to catch him up. I have to live next door to that every fucking day.
Is really?
Yeah.
Is that true, Benji?
Yeah, 488 GT.
Wow.
Yeah.
Daniel and me, MC.
So Benji's the Sonny Edwards in this situation, then is that what we're
Yeah,
getting to?
well, I am. I live in a bigger house, but
You spent all your money on the house, and he spent it on the car.
well, something like that. But no, I mean, the thing is, Jay is absolutely correct. I mean, look, I love my brother very, very much. We're thick as thieves. We've been in business together and whatever. But our lives have gone different paths, but have come together. We work in similar industries, and we've worked in very different industries. So it's weird how life goes with siblings like that, with older brothers and younger brothers. But you know, there is that there is that, especially when you're the younger one. So I can completely understand what Jay's saying. He's right.
Daniel MC said, take the personality away. Sonny Edwards isn't world level. And we'll find out tonight, won't we? So we haven't got long to wait. Yeah. But Mthalane is a great world champion. He's knocked out like the likes of Casemiro and Tete. It's a big fight for him. And I think it was class. I don't know if you've watched the kind of little press talk thing. A little face off with Frank in the ring at the York Hall. I just thought that was absolute class. And I really did think that Sonny Edwards was incredibly laid back and relaxed about the fight. I saw him on social media this afternoon in the bath, relaxing in the bath. Luckily, it was just the face. We didn't see the whole body in the bath, which I'm glad about. But no, I just think it's one of those opportunities that Sonny Edwards has got to take. And if he comes out victorious, it's absolutely fantastic. And if he does lose tonight, then he's still young. How old is he? I think he's 25.
Yeah,
he's 25 years of age, so he can still come back. And as you say, this guy, look at it, he's 39 wins and 26 knockouts. It's incredible knockout power. Incredible. But he has been inactive. He's getting old now. I think he's 38. So he's getting on.
At that weight, being a 38-year-old heavyweight is very different to being 38 at the smaller, lighter weights when you're having to make weight like that way. Honestly, I wouldn't. Yeah, Sonny Edwards is up against it, but he could be getting this fight at the right time. He really could. It's a hell of a possibility.
Yeah, definitely. And if it's just, I know I hate to say it because he's a British fighter, but if he does lose tonight, well, where does this don't really look great for Frank, does it? Like really with his fighters, because obviously Denzel Bentley got beat last week. Anthony Yar's now been beat twice. Dubois been beat.
Frank
Willie Hutchinson.
Frank seems to have this weird they either get world title fights too soon, or he seems to get the defining fights for his fighters really late. Because you could, with Dubois Joyce, you could say that was too soon for Dubois. Maybe what we just said with who was the other one? You mentioned someone else that you could say they got their shot. Yard. But then again, you look, and then you look at some of the other fighters in Frank's history. Look how long it took Ricky Hatton to get in with Sue or get a world title shot, a meaningful world title fight. Same with Calzaghe. It took Calzaghe years to get in with Bernard Hopkins, and so it just seems like, I don't know, when you look at Frank's stable and when he gets world title fights for fighters or big fights for fighters, they either seem to get them very early on, or we seem to be waiting an age for them to be brought along and stepped up. I don't know. Maybe someone will bring up some statistics and names and numbers that will completely prove that wrong. But it's just something that leaps to mind.
No, I agree with you, Benji. I think that Frank Warren's in an awkward position because he's basically he gets the scraps of Eddie Hearn. So like he's got a baby, then pushes fighters up because Eddie Hearn's got a bigger stable. He's going to get bigger fights. With Daniel Dubois, that was his Anthony Joshua, and I think he could have given him another 4 or 5 fights before the Joyce fight. but he took that golden ticket chance with Joyce's maybe his name and the level of opponents he fought. He maybe thought at that time that was the right moment for Daniel Dubois. Personally, I thought it was too soon, and I think now he probably would admit it was too soon. But that was his golden goose.
And it's the same with Yard though as well, because I mean, with Kovalev, and I mean the other thing is as well with Yard, especially. You look at the caliber of opposition he was boxing, and then it was Kovalev. There didn't seem to be a ramp up. Does that make sense?
I think he wanted the world title before he got to Buatsi. I think that's what he was doing. I think because he knew that if Buatsi was world champion first, it would have been more difficult maybe in the negotiations or Buatsi taking that fight with Yard. I think he thought if I could get Yard there before Buatsi, it's going to be better for him in that negotiation period, and it was a risk that didn't pay off.
Yeah.
The Boxing Ramble has had a brilliant question here. What would be the bigger shock, Edwards winning or Richards beating Bivol? Benji, what do you think? It's a good question, I think.
I think it's a hell of a question. Well, I mean, let's say if Edwards wins tonight, the knee-jerk reaction is going to kind of be, okay, he got Mthalane at the right time. Mthalane, 38 years old, been out the ring while Edwards was in the right place at the right time. It's harder to if Richards beats Bivol, you can't say that Bivol was over the hill, past it, seen better days, whatever. You know what I mean? So it's a difficult one. It's a difficult one, but because of the difference in resume and experience, I think Edwards may well be the bigger shock. Maybe you could make that argument.
Jay, what do you think?
I would go. Sorry, Benji, I'm not going against you on purpose.
No, don't worry about it.
I would say Richards, just because I remember I followed Charlie Edwards since the beginning, and I always remember him saying that his brother was better than him. So I always had this intrigue to know how good Sonny was. And watching Sonny, he has got skills. I won't lie, he's got some really good boxing skills. A couple of times his chin's been tested. That's worried me a little bit, but I've always had that in the back of my mind. Charlie Edwards saying my brother's better than me. And I just thought if Charlie Edwards is good, world level, then his brother's got to be. But, so on that, I would say I think Richards would be a bigger shock just because Richards, he's fought great competition. And I agree, Bivol's at the top of his game. And like you say, you can't argue if he beats him tomorrow night, especially if it's convincingly, like the way he knocked out Peters. If he knocks out Bivol I remember when he fought Jake Paul, he wasn't meant to win. He wasn't meant to beat Peters. I think they're both going to be a big shot. I'm going for both. I'm buzzing for both. Let's go for both. British fighters.
Let's be greedy. You can make the argument. It is to be fair, Boxing Ramble. It is a really good question, and it's one that you could really debate. But yeah, I mean, if both British boxers could do it, would be fantastic. I think, but I mean, both are both would be big upsets, definitely.
I think I count
in the work.
Go on, Jay.
Or either Morrison and Jonas winning tomorrow. Is that more of an upset?
Morrison beating Eubank Jr. probably would be, yeah.
And Jonas beating Katie Taylor.
I mean, again, with Jonas beating Katie Taylor, you could maybe make an argument to do with amateur experience and having boxed in the Olympics or whatever, and so they got the game plan right. And maybe Katie Taylor has, because she was in the, she's had a couple of wars with Bassoon or whatever, that maybe that's taken some out of it. So you just sort of have to sort of think about what the knee-jerk reactions to each win or loss is going to be.
Yeah.
With Morrison, I think it would be maybe a bigger upset because he's kind of been written off. And Eubank Jr., this is kind of seen as Eubank Jr. 2.0 with the new trainer, the maturity. So I think Morrison beating Eubank Jr. I'd probably choose that as the bigger upset. But again, it's another one. There's no right or wrong answer at all. You could easily make the argument either way.
Joe Blow says, hit the like button if I got some answers. Everyone hit the like button. 4. plenty more answers and plenty more content. But I'm going to throw one in there as we're just doing these mad what if scenarios. But what is bigger? I think we can. It's pretty safe to say. Do we both agree, or all three of us agree, that Katie Taylor's pound for pound female number one at the minute, or at least top three? At least top three.
I mean, the Americans are always going to just shout Clarissa Shields. So,
yeah, but she's a top three pound for pounder.
Yeah.
Then what would be bigger? When Lopez beat Lomachenko or Jonas beat Taylor? Because obviously we're looking at these pound for pound stars, and we're looking at Lopez, obviously very different to Jonas, because Lopez was still is the young, fresh lightweight, and Jonas is kind of the she's fresh. She's really fresh for her age. She's a really fresh professional boxer.
I don't think.
Say
that again.
She's got a loss and a draw on her record, which is different to, obviously, Lopez was unbeaten when he fought Lomachenko. I think Jonas. Sorry,
I don't think that Katie Taylor has the air of invincibility about her that Lomachenko had pre. Lomachenko pre Lopez was so avoided. Absolutely no one wanted to box him at all. And whenever one of his fights was announced, it really was, no one gave any of Lomachenko's opponents a chance. And that's despite him having that loss that was like second, third fight?
Second or third, yeah.
And I mean, and that guy didn't want a rematch either. Lomachenko was desperate to put that right. And so I don't think Katie Taylor has not quite yet has the same air of invincibility that Lomachenko did have.
Brilliant. Here we go. The fight is just about to start. We've had both ring walks. So after the official introductions, then we'll get to it. But we'll just I'm going to have
to go now anyway, fellas. But I'm probably going to keep you on in the background so I can listen to what you're saying about the fight. But it's been an absolute pleasure.
No problem, Benji. Absolutely fantastic. And like I've done with Kenny Ken, final prediction: Edwards versus Mthalane. Who wins?
Oh, God. Come on, Edwards, do the job.
Come on, Edwards,
do the job.
Bit of optimism there. Fantastic. Benji, been a pleasure. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you soon, hopefully.
See you all soon. Take care. Have a great weekend.
Jay.
Yep.
It's just me and you now. It's down to the final two. It's Sonny Edwards versus Mthalane. And what a great fight. What a great fight. And I'm hearing, I don't want to say too soon. I don't want to tell anyone. In case it doesn't happen, but I'm hearing we may be joined by a special guest for this fight. I don't want to speak too prematurely. Yeah, just in case it doesn't happen, but I'm getting word that we may be joined by a very, very special guest to talk about the fights tomorrow night and the card tomorrow night. So we may end up having to flick between the fight and the card if our guest comes on. But for now, our sole attention will be on Sonny Edwards versus Mthalane. And I'm just going to ask you, Jay, what I've asked Kenny Ken and Benji. What's your final prediction on it?
I'm torn, really. Like, it's a difficult one because I want Sonny Edwards to win. I'm saying maybe go for a points victory, but the level of the opponent that he's fighting tonight is unreal. He's a world operator. 39 victories, as we said earlier. 26 big KOs. He's fought, as I've got on my notes here, he's fought 248 rounds. Edwards has only fought 101, so he's fought nearly 100.
Great stat there.
140 rounds more. The experience. Like we said earlier, his only loss in 13 years is to Nonito Donaire, who's a great fighter, who we saw have a great fight with Frampton.
Yeah. He's a better fight with Inoue.
Right. Oh, yeah,
better
fantastic.
Fight. What a brilliant fight.
Best fight Inoue's had, I'm going to say, to date. So,
yeah, definitely.
You can't argue with that. So 13 years, a man not losing for 13 years is a solid operator. So, but he's not fought in 18 months. 18 months since his last fought. He's 38 years old. There's no crowd. I don't know how it's going to affect him. Let's just hope Sonny Edwards pulls us out of the bag. Let's get a victory for Britain. Another world champion. Come on, let's go, baby. Let's go.
Let's go. I think we're both buzzing for the fight.
Oh, buzzing.
Sonny
Edwards looks focused. He's zoned in. He's zoned in.
He is zoned in as well. Grant Smith in the corner of Sonny Edwards. Hit that like and subscribe button.
He's very loyal to Grant.
He is great trainer as well. Obviously, his son's a huge prospect in Dalton Smith. He'll be back out on the 15th of May on the undercard of Terry Harper versus Choi. And here we go, round one of Mthalane versus Sonny Edwards for the IBF World Flyweight title.
So I'd like Sonny to start with his jabber. He's coming in with some.
Sonny Edwards has made it clear that he wants to dance around Mthalane. He's not going for the knockout. He doesn't have that knockout power, but he thinks he can outbox him.
Well, with an older fighter, a year and a half off, maybe it might not be down to the power. Maybe the timing might take him out. Maybe. Sometimes it's the right shot at the right angle. It don't always take the power, but Edwards looks like he's dancing around here. Looks like his opponent's going to be a come forward fighter.
Lovely sharp jab landed just then by Sonny Edwards as well. His footwork, he's very light on his feet. He's moving around the ring, and he's just avoiding that big shot.
Well, he's got to be the younger, fresher man. He's got to be coming at angles. You see, like you say, the jab's looking beautiful. He's coming in with the feints.
Just great
offset the opponent, offset him. If he's coming forward, offset him. So he's got to reset and that go again. Make sure.
Can he do that for 12 rounds, though, Jay?
He's 20.
Oh, here we go. We're joined by legendary heavyweight.
What's up,
contender, Carlos Takam.
Hello, big man.
Yes, I'm here, ready to fight.
Absolutely fantastic. I don't know if you know this, but Sonny Edwards is a British fighter currently fighting Mthalane for the IBF World title, and but we've got a huge card tomorrow night featuring Dereck Chisora and Joseph Parker. I've got to go straight into it, Carlos. What do you make of that fight?
Ooh, it's gonna be huge. It's gonna be a big fight. I know that. I know Chisora. I know Parker. They're both his friend of mine. So I support the both. I don't want to tell you I support Chisora or Dereck or Parker, but for me, I really think it's the fight go far, like 10 round, 12 round. Parker gonna win, and then yes, and then Dereck Chisora can knock Parker out like 3 or 4, 6 rounds. That's just me. I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, you've obviously been in with both fighters, Carlos. Who has the most power out of the two?
That's a good question, man.
Sorry, I'm deep and early, Carlos.
Oh God! So the bob is powerful, man. I told you the bob is powerful. Yeah, Parker is really fast.
Yeah.
Really fast for the heavyweight. That guy is very fast. Yeah, he's very fast. But I think, for me, Chisora is more powerful than Parker. Yes.
Brilliant. Get your questions in for Carlos Takam. We've got a fantastic heavyweight. Look, BG London, all the respect for Carlos Takam. He's in the building. And Carlos, it's a great card from top to bottom. But what do you think about Dereck Chisora of late? He obviously had a great fight with Alexander Usyk, but where do you think he is in his career at the minute? He's got 10 losses, but how do you assess Dereck Chisora?
Listen, the last fight he made with Alexander Usyk, Usyk is not a really heavyweight for me. It's not really heavyweight for me. And that fight was, I don't know. Every time Izzy was moving, he was running. He never accepted to fight with Dereck. You know, he never accepted to fight with Dereck. And then that was not good for to Dereck to fight a guy like Izzy, because Izzy is moving a lot, and Dereck is a warrior. He like to fight. It's not like to follow the fight in the ring. It was not a good fight for me. That fight, I look at the fight, I say, wow, what the fuck? That's gonna be that one not gonna be good for Dereck, because that guy is only move, touch, move, touch, move. For me, it was not a good fight for Dereck.
Yeah. The Boxing Ramble says, do you think Andy Lee will improve Joseph Parker, Carlos?
Say again?
Boxing Ramble's got a question for you. He says, do you think Andy Lee will improve Joseph Parker?
Do I think what? I don't understand what I mean.
Andy Lee, Joseph Parker's new trainer. Do you think he will improve Joseph Parker's game?
Andy Lee, yes. I'm sorry, Joseph Parker, new trainer. Yes, it's really not easy for the boxer to change the trainer like that, especially when you have a fight. Especially when you have a fight, it's not easy, because sometimes when you change trainer, he change, how to say, he change you boxing. He change how you boxing. He change your boxing, and I really hope the Parker new trainer don't change how he's boxing. Like, he need to how to say, he need to put something else in his boxing, not to change definitely how he's boxing. But I think he's a good trainer. For me, I think he's a good trainer. I think he's gonna make Parker be best and be good again. I think so. Yes.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant. What's going on with you at the minute, Carlos? First of all, obviously, we know you last fought. It was a victory last time out. And where are you in your career? What fights would you like to make for yourself in the imminent future?
Listen, since my fight, the last year in December, they proposed me to fight Tyson Fury. So we was in the negotiation.
Yes.
And then they pull up, they cancel the fight. I don't know why. If you ask me the question, I'm going to tell you to go ask the Tyson Fury team what happened. So after that, they proposed me to fight Luis Ortiz.
Oh, that would have been a great fight. That would have been a
great fight.
They can't say the fight again. And the last one, they told me, yeah, we have a fight to you. We would like you to fight Joe Jones. I was so happy to come back in UK to fight again, because long time UK. I was so happy. I said, yes, let's do it.
Do you like it in the UK then, Carlos? Do you like it in the UK?
Yes. Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yes.
Brilliant.
And then they pull out the fight. I don't know why. I don't know. It's like everybody don't want to fight me. It's like everybody around me. I want to fight.
Carlos, yeah. I've got a question for you, if you don't mind. Hope you're doing all right. When you fought Dereck Chisora, did you underestimate him with his record? Do you think a lot of fighters underestimate him because of his record?
Listen.
Great question, Joe.
That fight with Chisora, I don't like to speak about that fight, because I like, Chisora is a brother. I like him. He's a good fighter. Yeah. For me, that fight, was an accident. I'm sorry. I have a respect for that guy, but for me, the fight was an accident. For me.
In what way, Carlos?
I would like to fight him again. Yes, I would like to.
I would love to see it again.
Yes, I would like to fight Chisora again.
It was a good fight. I thought you had the better of it until that punch. I will agree. I will say I did think you did have the better of the fight. But I was just wondering, like you said, Dereck's got great power. I was just wondering, your mindset going into it, did you underestimate him, or do you believe other fighters do underestimate him, like Joseph Parker?
Can you repeat the question? Because I don't.
Do you think Joseph Parker will overlook Dereck just because of his record and who he's fought before?
Do you think he's underestimated because of his record?
No, I don't think so. I really don't think so. No, I really don't think so.
BG
I'd love to know
London.
that opinion.
Good, yeah. Sorry, Jay. BG London's
love
got
that
a question. BG London's got a question for you, Carlos. He says, ask him about his relationship with the UFC champion Francis Ngannou.
Yeah, Francis is my friend. You know, we know together since in Africa, and then when he moved in France, he was training in my gym in France, in my boxing gym in France, and we trained together because before UFC he started. He was a boxing, right? He was a boxing before UFC. It's my friend. We know it together. We trained together a long time ago. We trained together in France. Now here in Vegas, sometimes we train together. He likes fight. We how do you say that? The last fight, Francis last fight, this is boxing.
He beat Miocic.
No, the Francis last fight. What was his name for?
Stipe.
Well, with Stipe. With Stipe. We train together, you know, we make a sparring together. I prepare him, you know, for that fight. And he win. I was so happy for him because I told him, man, listen, you need to win that fight, because if not win that fight, means say I make a sparring for you for nothing. You need to win it. If not win, it's not going to be good. I don't want to see you again. So yeah, I told you that. I put you the pressure. I said, you need to win that guy. Definitely. You have everything to win it. I said, yeah, we're gonna say the first fight, you was not ready. You know, we was not ready for the first fight, and now you need to win. The Francis is a good guy. He's a friend of mine. You know, he's a good guy.
Carlos, what about Ngannou? Sorry, Jay. I'll just quickly.
Oh no.
What about Francis Ngannou versus John Jones? What do you make of that fight?
You know what? The last time I was speaking with Francis, when he was prepared for the fight with Stipe, I told him, we were speaking about that fight with George Jones. I told him, listen, you need to win that guy before you think about George Jones. I said, I don't give a fuck with George Jones, or I need that fight, this one with Stipe, this one, I want you to win. And when you're going to finish with Stipe, you can speak the fight with George Jones. But George Jones is not really the heavyweight. He's going to be, I don't know how to say, he may be going to be like Chisora and Uzi, but that's going to be different, because for that fight, if George Jones take one punch to Francis, he's going to go down. That's really going to go down. It's going to be, I don't know, that for me, that fight is more business than fighting, you know. But he can be the good fight for George Jones. It can be a good fight for George Jones and Francis to put UFC, you know, to put the UFC fighting up. I think so. Yes.
Yeah. Sorry, Jay. Go on. What was you going to say? Ask Carlos.
Yeah, Carlos. I was just going to say, I've been following Francis since he's first started in the UFC. I'm a big UFC fan myself. I agree with you. I thought he had to beat Stipe in that last fight, and I thought he had a fantastic performance.
Yeah.
I would like to see Francis beat Dereck Lewis. I don't know if you know Dereck Lewis. They had a fight after the Stipe first fight, and Dereck beat Francis.
Francis fight with Dereck Lewis or no?
Yeah, Francis fought Dereck Lewis. It went to 3 rounds. Judges give it to Dereck Lewis. It was the fight after the Stipe first fight.
Yeah.
It's not one for the history books. It was a bit of a ball fest, but I think Francis would really like to run that back, get a win over Dereck Lewis. But I agree with you with the John Jones fight. I think one punch from Francis would end that contest.
Yes.
One punch knockout.
Yes. Francis with Georgia, yes, it's a good fight. It's a big fighter, but I really don't see George Jones beat Francis. I really don't see that. Really. I really don't see.
Especially when Francis has improved his ground game. His ground game looked really good against Stipe.
Yes, because the last fight, you know, I said, Francis, listen, this fight, don't follow that guy. Don't follow him. Leave him come in you, and then you can fight him. Don't make that the first one you was following him, like you wanna kill him. I say, be quiet, control the fight, and he do the same thing. he win the fight easy. He was scary, man. Easy fight, you know.
Yeah.
When you see Francis spike like that, everybody say, wow, that guy is scary, you know. It was a good fight, but I really don't see. For me, I don't know. Maybe I made a mistake, but I really don't see George Jones beat Francis. No. I really don't. Yeah.
From one super fight in the UFC to the super fight in boxing, you're a heavyweight, so you've obviously got to be asked about it, Carlos. What do you think of Anthony Joshua versus Tyson Fury? You've obviously shared the rim with AJ. What's your opinions on the fight?
That fight, I don't know. That fight is crazy, man. That fight is crazy. Anthony Joshua versus Tyson Fury. Yes. You know, when I think about that fight, I have too many things in my head. You know, I can see the fight in, you know, I don't know, but people think it's gonna be because Gypsy King he beat Wilder. They think he's gonna be, for him that fight gonna be easy. He's gonna beat Joshua is easy, but I don't think so. It's not gonna be an easy fight because, you know, I think since Joshua lost the fight with Andy Ruiz, I think the fight he teach many things. You know, I think he know now how to control the fight. Like to control the fight with some guy like Tyson Fury or whatever. He know now that fight gonna be tough fight for both fighting. And I don't think Joshua or Gypsy King gonna win that fight easy. And I really think that fight don't wanna go in 12th round. For me. Yeah, that fight don't
KO.
Yes. Or KO or KO technique or KO. Somebody got to stop the fight.
Carlos, for you, is that the biggest fight in boxing right now?
Yeah, right now is the biggest fight in boxing. Yes, definitely. Right now is the biggest fight in boxing. And then you have that fight with the fight. Ruiz. No, Ruiz. The fight with the Mexican
Canelo.
Canelo and
Billy Joe Saunders.
Right, that one too is a big fight. That one too is a big fight. But now the big fight when everybody's speaking about, everybody waiting about, is Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury.
Brilliant. Shaz says Takam. He's loving.
If you want to ask me who's gonna win that fight, I'm gonna tell you.
Go on.
I'm gonna tell you when I'm gonna see the first round. If you call me after the first round, I'm gonna tell you who's gonna win.
Fantastic. That is brilliant. That I'll call you then. I'll be the first one on the phone. I'll be there.
Yeah. Okay.
Brilliant. What do you make of Buddy McGirt training Dereck Chisora? Well, it's a link up that kind of come out of nowhere. What do you think about that, Carlos?
The new training Dereck Chisora. I don't know that guy very good, you know. I don't know him very well.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I don't know him very well.
I've got a fight for you, Carlos.
Yeah.
Francis Ngannou versus Dillian Whyte. I've heard that rumored.
Woo!
Who wins?
I'd like to see that one.
Who wins?
That one, personally, I'm going to train with Francis to beat Dillian Whyte.
I'm all over that. I look forward to that, Carlos. That'll be very exciting.
Yeah, I would like to see that one there. But that the Dillian Whyte with Francis Ngannou, I don't think that fight gonna make 5 rounds. No.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Two power punchers, two really heavy hitters.
And Dillian Whyte can fight in the cage.
Say again?
Dillian Whyte has fought in MMA before as well, so you could have a boxing fight and an MMA.
If Dillian Whyte fight in the cage, he's gonna lose like after 2 or 3 rounds. No chance for Dillian Whyte to win Ngannou in the cage. No chance. No. he have a chance
More
to win.
even in boxing.
He have a little chance to win Francis in the ring, but in the cage, he don't have a chance. No way.
Oh, okay.
Carlos, this weekend we see the return of heavyweight Andy Ruiz against Chris Arreola. What do you make of that fight?
Andy Ruiz is gonna win that fight, man. That fight gonna get easy for him. Yes, definitely. That's not fight. He's gonna win the fight. Yeah.
2 rounds.
Yeah, he's gonna win the fight like I don't know 5 or 4 rounds. Yeah, he's gonna win the fight.
Is that a fight? Is that a fight you'd like to make in the future, yourself and Andy Ruiz?
Yes. That's one of the fights I would like to take it, man. That's so exciting.
Yeah.
That's
I'd love to
on
see
the
that
Fury
one.
Joshua undercard.
That is so exciting to fight some guy like that. Damn it. Woo.
How would you beat Andy Ruiz, Carlos? How would you beat Andy Ruiz?
How big Andy Ruiz?
Yeah.
I know he's a tough guy, you know, he's move a lot, he have many combinations, you know. That kind of guy, you need to wait like 7-10 rounds to put it down. If you try to put it down his first round, like 2-3, no way. You cannot. Yes.
Are they the type of fights you want, Carlos? The big names, Andy Ruiz, Luis Ortiz, are they the fights you want?
Yes. You know what? The last time when they proposed me to fight Tyson Fury, right? I heard that guy was speaking about me, how they say, wider. And then I don't like the way he speak about me, right? I told them, if you want to fight me, you're welcome. I'm going to put you down like Tyson Fury. I don't give a fuck, man. I would like to fight him. I would like to fight that guy. Yes. And when if I fight him, I don't want him to say yes. He trained and put something in the water, or his clothes was too heavy. That is bullshit excuse, man.
Yeah.
Come on. He found some bullshit excuse to say yes because my clothes, because my water, because Tyson Fury put something in his glove. That is shit. You lost. Accept you lost. Don't bring me. Accept you lost, man. Everybody lost. You know. The big fighting like Muhammad Ali lost, Mike Tyson lost, Sugar Ray Leonard lost. They accept that. You lost the fight and you start to speak shit. You say yes because my clothes, because it. No, come on.
Yeah, it's about keeping your integrity as a fighter with you, Carlos.
Say again.
It's about integrity with you. It's about keeping respect between fighters.
Yes, it's about respect between fighters. Yes.
BG London says, have you had a sparring session with Francis?
Yeah, I have many sparring sessions with Francis. I have a video. Don't worry. Next week I'm gonna put a video.
Yeah, send it to me. Send it to me. It'd be brilliant, that. Love to see it.
Don't worry, I'm gonna send it to you. I'm going to start to put a video, right?
Fantastic.
Yes.
Fantastic. Carlos, obviously, Tyson Fury, I don't know if you've seen it, but he's been calling out a lot of people this week. Well, again, he's called out Francis Ngannou. Tyson Fury versus Francis Ngannou, another crazy fight.
You're going to be a crazy fight, but before, I'm sorry, but before he fight Tyson Fury, Francis Ngannou, he need to come see me before. We need to fight before that.
That's the fight for you.
Yeah, that's a fight for me.
BG London, also another great question. He said, who wins out of Hunter and Hrgovic?
Oof. Come on, man. Wow. Hunter have an experience, you know, in the fight. Hrgovic is a powerful guy, but we're not experienced. I think I can say yes, that fight is gonna be like true, you know. Yes. Or maybe Hrgovic can win, but I really think it's not gonna be easy fight for him because Inter is very, very smart guy when he fights. And then if the fight go like a 10 round, it's not good for Gordon. It's not good for him. Yes, I think so.
Carlos, we've seen a lot of legends return to the world of boxing recently. We see Mike Tyson versus Roy Jones Jr. We've just seen Evander Holyfield and potentially Mike Tyson versus Lennox Lewis. What do you make of this? Heavyweight legends returning to the ring.
Yes. That's a big business, man. That's a really because for me, I don't think for you have like 58 or 55 and you return to fight. It's not really. That's not a really fight, you know. It's an exhibition, right?
Yeah.
Yes, exhibition fights. Yeah.
Yeah, if it's an exhibition fight, yeah, that's good. For me, it's good. For me, I have no problem. But to say Mike Tyson gonna fight like 12 rounds, 3 minutes, no, come on. That's the big man. We have all respect for that guy. He cannot do that. But if it's an exhibition, yes, I'm gonna support that. Yes, it's good. It's good. It's good for boxing.
Brilliant.
Yes.
It is. It's bringing more names to the sport, definitely. There's a heavyweight prospect I'd like to ask you about. F.A. Ajagba. He's making serious waves. F.A. Ajagba?
Ajagba, the Nigerian guy, right?
Yes, the Nigerian heavyweight. Have you seen him box at all?
Say again?
Have you seen him box at all?
Yeah, I see him boxing here in Vegas. I see the last fight was terrible, man. He put some nut down. Damn, it was crazy.
Is that a fight you'd be open to? Is that a fight you'd potentially like to see in the future, yourself and Ajagba?
Man, he welcome. He welcome.
He's welcome. Anyone's welcome. Anyone's welcome.
He welcome.
Carlos.
I scared no for that division. I'm always ready for fight. You know, I scared nobody. But go ahead, man. Go ahead. I hear you.
Yeah, Carlos. If it goes Dereck Chisora's way this weekend, or even if it doesn't go his way this weekend, would you be open to the rematch?
Yes, with Dereck Chisora, right?
Yeah. I know you said you didn't want to talk about the loss, but I just wanted to get your opinion on would you fight him, win or lose at the weekend?
Say again. I don't. Wait. Say again.
Win or lose for Dereck at the weekend, will you fight him in a rematch if it's offered?
I fight a rematch with Dereck Chisora if they give it to me, because I asked that rematch to 3 times for Dereck and for his manager David A, because I know David A. I asked him. I want that rematch. I really want that rematch. I really want to come back in UK to fight again, because I like UK fight, I like UK people. I have many support in UK that I would like to come back in UK to fight, to make my rematch with Dereck Chisora or with Anthony Joshua. Definitely.
I would love to see that. A great story, great build up, and I think it'd be a great fight in the UK, Carlos.
What? I don't know.
A great fight in the UK.
Fight in the UK?
Yeah, it'd be a big fight, the rematch.
Yes, of course. I know many people would like to see me fight again in UK or rematch with Joshua or with Dereck Chisora. I know that one. I say I would really like to come in UK fight. Even I don't have a rematch with the Bob fighter, I would like to fight another person. Listen, like fight somebody like Dillian Whyte.
That'd be a great fight.
Yeah, that would be great. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It'd be brilliant.
What about Huey Fury?
Who?
Huey Fury?
Huey Fury. Oh God, the young guy, right?
Yeah.
Tyson's cousin.
Yeah, because he have two cousins fighting. Alby Fury and another guy.
I think he has a few. I think Nathan Gorman's his cousin. The young heavyweight.
Yeah,
but
the young heavyweight. Yes.
Another question here, sorry, just from BG London, because we kind of covered Hrgovic Hunter. Thoughts on Jake Paul, Carlos?
Oh,
Jake Paul.
Jack Paul, man. I don't know what to say. I don't know him. I think he's a good guy. He really do his business in the boxing. So the thing I don't understand, how some guy like that come in the boxing and take everything? Now people follow him. People think he's a professional boxing. It's a good fighting, but you have so many boxing around the world. They want to fight. They want to make a big fight. They want to make something, and then they go take that guy when they don't know him in the box. I don't know where he coming from, and now he start to speak with. He want to fight with Murder. He start to speak. He want to fight with UFC fighter. I don't know where he coming from. He make it for me. Really, for me, that's nonsense. That's nonsense for me. Yes, for me, that's nonsense. We have a fighter. We have many fighters in the world. Why are we going to go trust him?
Yeah. Would you fight on Triller? Would you fight on the platform Triller, Carlos?
Fight who?
Would you fight on Triller, the new platform that shows Jake Paul's fights?
No.
With Snoop Dogg?
Ah, yes. No, I don't.
No?
I don't know that new platform. I don't know that.
Okay. And another big exhibition fight is Floyd Mayweather versus Logan Paul. Another crazy fight. What do you think of that?
I think Floyd Mayweather are going to win that. We're going to win that exhibition.
Yeah, obviously, yeah.
I don't want to say going to win that fight because it's an exhibition. I think Floyd gonna play with that guy. I think so. But because that guy, that Paul Logan is he gonna make that exhibition. But for him, it's not exhibition. For him, it's a fight. He gonna For Floyd Mayweather, it's an exhibition fight. But for him, for Paul Logan, it's a fighting. He come to fight. So be careful. We never know. We never know. Yeah. Yes. We're gonna see. We're gonna see what's gonna happen. We're gonna see what happens. We're gonna see. I'm gonna watch that fight. I'm gonna watch that exhibition fight. I'm gonna watch it.
You will watch it. It's quite an expensive pay-per-view, isn't it?
I don't know.
I think it's an expensive pay-per-view.
Okay. Which platform? Which channel you gonna?
I think it's on Showtime.
Showtime.
I heard it was on Showtime.
Yeah.
Okay. I have Showtime. I'm going to see.
Yeah. Carlos, what do you make of Eddie Hearn? Obviously, he's brought you over to the UK a couple of times, but what do you think of the promoter?
Eddie Hearn. I like that guy. The last time
you like him.
The last time I was speaking with him, he said, "Listen, Carlos, I know people don't like me, but I'm a good businessman, and he's a really good businessman."
Yeah.
We can speak shit about him, man, about Eddie Hearn, but he put the boxing up, man.
I've got a lot of respect for Eddie.
That guy is very smart. He's very smart guy. He know how to do his business. He put the boxing up. I have respect for Eddie Hearn. He's a good guy, and he know how to manage everything in the boxing business.
He's made boxing great again. I think over the last 10 years, I think Eddie's been a big boost for boxing.
Yes, of course. It's him. It's because Eddie boxing now today is everybody want to watch boxing. He makes too many combinations, too many fighting combinations. He know how to do. He know he work. He's a good guy. He make a great job.
Yeah. What do you like? Do you like the platform DAZN? Is that you like DAZN?
Yeah, I have DAZN. Yes, I have DAZN.
Yeah, they're certainly putting on some really good fights at the minute, especially over in the US. There's really, really good fights in DAZN.
I never fight in DAZN, but that is a good idea. I would like to fight in DAZN before. Yes, I would like to fight in DAZN. Yeah.
Ideally for you, when would you like to next be out?
When what?
When would you next like to fight, Carlos?
My next fight?
Yeah.
I think my next fight gonna be the next 3 months.
Fantastic. Yes. Have you got any ideas of an opponent yet?
I I'm gonna know who next. I don't know next week. Yes, because I have a meeting with my promoter. We're gonna speak about that. Yeah.
Fantastic. And obviously,
I'm gonna let you know, guys. Don't worry.
Sorry.
I'm gonna let you know.
Yeah, let us know. Give us a text. Brilliant.
Okay.
Next week, there's a massive fight. Finally, Carlos, massive fight. Canelo Alvarez versus Billy Joe Saunders.
Yeah.
What do you think about that fight? Obviously, Canelo's a fantastic fighter. Will you watch that fight?
Yes, I'm gonna watch that fight. Definitely. Yes. But who win? That people going to tell you. You ask everybody going to tell you, yes, Canelo win that fight. Canelo going to win that fight. People going to tell you that. But Saunders is not easy fighter. That guy is very good. It's very fast. Have a good technique. It's going to be. I think it's going to be tough for Canelo to win Saunders. I think it's going to be like Canelo and Golovkin won. It's going to be like that because the fight going to be close.
Yeah.
For me, I think the fight going to be close. But Canelo going to win like 70%, and then for 40% going to be for Saunders. Canelo going to win the fight, yes. I think so. But we never know. Definitely.
That's true.
Yeah, we never know. I don't want to say Canelo going to win Canelo going to win that fight easy. We never know because Saunders is crazy. He's a crazy fighter. So so be careful of that guy. He can. He's one of the guys today. He can win Canelo. Yes. But for me, I think Canelo going to win the fight, but not easy. But don't forget, Saunders can win that fight. Yes. But it's going to be a big fight. It's one of the big fight we're waiting now. But I really think Saunders have a chance. He have a chance to win Canelo. But it's not going to be easy for him because Canelo is that guy is crazy fighter. Yes.
Have you seen much of Daniel Dubois, Carlos? The British heavyweight. Have you seen much of Daniel Dubois, the British heavyweight?
Daniel Dubois?
Yeah.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, Daniel Dubois. He last fight with Joe Jones.
Joe Joyce.
I was so mad for him. That guy lost, but it's lost. That was his bad loss because he stopped the fight. I don't know why. It's young. It's young. He gonna keep working and keep fighting and have more experience. And he gonna know. Yes, I think he's a good fighter, and I think that guy is a future in the heavyweight for tomorrow. I think so, for me.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And BG London says Holyfield versus McBride. We spoke about the legends earlier, but do you think that it's good that it's on the same show as undisputed lightweight title fight, because Teofimo Lopez is also fighting on the same show as Holyfield and McBride? Do you think that's good for the sport?
Man, that's that I really don't know what to say about that. I don't know what to say about that because now everybody want to come back to fight again. You say yes, the legends fighting. I just want to say, yeah, it's good for the boxing, it's good for the image of boxing, but people need to understand that is not a fight, it's an exhibition. It's an exhibition. That one people need to know, because people, when they say, yeah, it's a fight with Tarzan with Holyfield, people really think it's a fight. People think about the last fight with Tarzan and Holyfield. It's not a fight, it's an exhibition. They need to put exhibition, not the fighting. But it's a good aim. It's a put the boxing up. It's a good for boxing to see the legend come back and make the exhibition. It's good for boxing. It's a good image for boxing. But for me, I really think they don't need that, because they don't need that. I don't know. They don't need that for me. Yes.
Great. Carlos, how are you for time, my friend? How are you for time?
What?
How are you for time? Let us know when you have to leave. Let us know if you need to be somewhere. You're more than welcome to leave, my friend. But if not, we've got plenty more questions for you.
Okay. I told you. I just come back like 2 days ago. I was in Africa. I was in Kinshasa.
Really?
Yes, I was in Kinshasa in Congo. I visited the stadium. You know that stadium, the stadium where when they have a fight, Muhammad Ali and Foreman, Judge Foreman. I visited that stadium. It was amazing, man. It was crazy. I was there. I was thinking like, damn, man, here they make a story here for that in that stadium. They make a story here in Africa. So I really want. They say I really want to go back to Africa and make a fight. I never fight in Africa. I really never fight in Africa. And then that is my dream, to go fight to Africa professional, to make some big fight to Africa. Why not in Congo, in the same stadium when Muhammad Ali and Foreman fighting? I want to do something like that, some big fight in Africa. Not only in Congo, in Africa, in Cameroon, in Nigeria, in Zaire. You know, I want to make something in Africa, something big in Africa. That's one of my big projects. Make a boxing good, great project in boxing in Africa.
That would be amazing.
If you could choose one fight to have in Africa, what would it be, Carlos?
If I can choose one fight
in Africa.
No, don't say one, say 3 or 2, please.
Okay, go on, tell me. Two fights.
2 fights.
Okay, if I can choose 2 fights in Africa, I want to make my revenge with Anthony Joshua in Africa.
Oh,
it'd be a huge event.
Yes, a huge event. Yes, I want to make a revenge with Anthony Joshua in Africa. It's 2. I want to say, I want to tell you, like, I want to fight with Tyson Fury in Africa, but no. The 2, I want to fight with Deontay Wilder in Africa.
Oh, wow. That'd be a good shout. Big one, Carlos. Yeah. Big one.
Tyson Fury and Wilder in Africa.
And then, Carlos, once you've beat Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder in Africa, then you can come over to England and fight Tyson Fury.
That's it. Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yes,
love that.
It'd certainly go down in history. It would certainly go down in history, Carlos.
Yeah. No.
You spoke about trading and talking, giving advice to Francis Ngannou. After your career, is training something you'd like to do? Would you like to train fighters?
After my career, definitely after my career, I want to do something like help the fighter in Africa, build something in Africa to make people, to make people fight. Right? We have many fighters in Africa, but they don't have a chance to I don't know, to come here in Europe or to come here in America to fight. I want to help them to because when I was in Congo, I see many fights, and they speak to me. They say, yes, Carlos, we want to be like you. We want to have the same career like you, but they don't have a possibility to be like me. They don't have, They say, yeah, we need to go to Europe or to America to be like you. I say, no, you can be like me, but stay in Africa, be like me. So I want to bring my head for that people to Africa to make the dream be true. After my career, I want to do to help with fighter in Africa to build a career. Yes, I want to do that, definitely.
Francis Ngannou is a good friend of yours, Carlos.
Yeah.
Do you think with him and Adesanya helping bring the sport of UFC to Africa will help boxing in Africa too?
Yes, I think so. I really think so. Every time when I speak with Francis, he want to do that. He told me like, yes, I want to go to Africa, build like UFC fighting in Africa. Every time I told him like, Listen, Francis, that's good. This is one of the things I want to do too with the boxing. If we can do that together, that's going to be fantastic for our people in Africa. Yes, definitely.
So I think Africa's on the map now, especially with obviously the likes of Francis, Usman, and Adesanya in the UFC, and also yourself in boxing, Carlos. I think Africa's really buzzing at the moment.
Yes, like you said, Africa is a map now. The last time I hear the guy, the boss in UFC, he say yes, the plan to organize a UFC fight in Africa. That's good. That's really good. Well, I don't know, but that's really good. I would like to see that. That one has
3 champions.
Yeah, they have 3 champions. The 3 African champions, one heavyweight and Adesanya and Usman. That's really good to Africa to have people
amazing.
like that. Yes, that's good.
You must have loved the scenes this week with Francis returning home with the title, seeing his mother. That was fantastic.
Yes, I know. I text him. I say, guy, that's amazing. And I see the video when you come in Cameroon in the airport. Everybody was screaming. Everybody like. I say that I'm happy for you. You know, that's good for Africa. That's good for us. You know, from Cameroon. I think that's good. I text him to tell you like, congratulations for everything you do in Africa. Yes, everything you bring.
He's an inspiration to me. I think he's a great guy with his journey, Carlos. I've heard his journey, and he's come a long way. So he's an inspiration, and you're a credit helping him training along the way.
Yes, he's come a long way. I remember when I see him in France. We were speaking, and he was telling me how you come here, how you come in France. I said how, because he said yes. I take a boat. I go to Morocco, to Italy. He was speaking. I was like, what? Seriously? He said yes. I do all that trip. I said wow. I said really. I don't know what to say, because I was like, oh my God, you know, because I told you like, man, damn, you stronger, and then I know one day you're gonna be big fighter, you know. And then one day he come tell me like, Carlos, I'm gonna fight with UFC. He have his first contract with UFC. That time I don't know what is UFC. I asked him like, what is UFC? He said, you don't know what UFC? I said no. And he started to talk to me like, yeah, that's the UFC, you know. And like 3, 4 years going, he texts me, yes, I'm not in America. I fight with UFC. I was so happy for him. So now I start to follow him in the Instagram. I see what he do. I see he fight. I was like, this is excellent for you, Francis. This is excellent, because your story is not easy. You know, you don't have an easy story. The thing you do,
no, it's a great story.
From here is crazy. That's really crazy. I'm really happy for him, for Francis. I'm really happy for all the things he do now. You know, I'm really happy for him.
It'd be great to get him on Pep Talk UK. If you could have a word with him, it'd be great to get him on the channel.
Yeah, have a word with him for us, Carlos.
Well, it's a story everyone should hear. It's a story everyone should hear. It's inspirational.
Yeah, it is.
The story everyone should hear?
His story is inspirational.
The Francis story, right? Yes. It's inspiration. Yes, I know.
Do you genuinely think, Carlos, that Francis will have a boxing match?
Francis will have a boxing match?
Do you think he will?
Yeah, he can.
Yeah?
Yes. Yes, he can. You know, before Francis fight in USA, he was a boxing. He was a fight in boxing before he go in UFC. Don't forget that. Yeah. He started boxing before going UFC, because I remember when we training in France, in Paris, every time. You know, that's crazy, because one day I make some exhibition fight with Francis in Paris one day. That's a long time ago. And the last time I sent him some picture for that exhibition fight, he said, "Whoa, shit! I forget that one." She was like, "Yeah, I forget that one." Wow, long time ago. Yeah, we make some exhibition fight one day in Paris, long time ago. It was funny, you know. It was funny. Yes, he can fight. He can make a boxing fight. He can
Really
fight.
box, yeah. Carlos, will you be watching Chisora versus Parker live tomorrow?
Of course, I'm gonna watch him. I'm gonna when the fight gonna finish, I'm gonna call the boss.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Parker,
If you're
in the video.
definitely,
You want the
Carlos,
winner. You want the winner.
What?
You want the winner?
Carlos,
Call him out.
Yeah, Carlos Takam versus the winner.
Yes. Yes.
Listen, we're doing a live tomorrow. If you're free tomorrow, make sure you join us for the Takam Chisora Parker Chisora big live stream tomorrow.
Okay, no problem, man. No problem. I'm gonna be there.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for everything. You're welcome.
Carlos, you've been an absolute pleasure, my friend. Quality. I'm sure everyone in UK loves you. Cheers, mate. Thank you so much for coming on.
Everybody, for you. Just want to say hello for Eddie here. Hello, Eddie. I hope you're okay.
Hello, Eddie. That's brilliant.
And come to the UK soon, Carlos.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
See you soon.
Cheers.
See you soon.
That was fantastic.
And as he comes off, Jay, Carlos Takam. It's been a fantastic night for both of us. I'm sure you'll agree, because not only have we had Xavier Miller on Pep Talk UK, not only have we had Carlos Takam on Pep Talk UK, but we have got another British world champion, Sonny Edwards. I was watching it out the corner of my eye. I didn't want to be rude to Carlos. I was trying my best to watch it. But wow, what a performance it seemed from Sonny Edwards. Fantastic.
Oh no, I looked down at one point and I think it was the 10th round, and the judges had him punditry had him 9 rounds.
Richie Woodall's scorecard.
Yeah, so I thought, oh, here we go. And I saw the last 2 rounds his opponent was giving it some, but no, I'm so happy for him.
I'm so pleased. And this is why we love boxing. It's why we're here.
I'll have to watch it back. We were busy with Carlos, so
we was. But oh, what a fantastic night! What a fantastic night! And I'm so pleased for Sonny. He boxed. 100%. From what I've seen, obviously I weren't watching it properly, but from every time I looked up at the screen's directly in front of me. Every time I looked up, I could just see him moving, avoiding those punches. It looked like he was getting the better of most of the fight. So fantastic. Sonny Edwards.
At the beginning, he's a younger man. He should be able to move around. And like what we said earlier, I've always said that. I've heard that he's better than Charlie, and now he's got the opportunity. He's got that platform. He's a world champion in his own right. So two brothers, world champions from Britain. Happy days.
He proved a lot of people wrong tonight. Certainly, he proved a lot of people wrong. So well done, Sonny Edwards. 25 years old. Could we have the next?
Does he want to jump back on and let us know how the fight went?
Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah.
Could we have the next Could we have the next star of boxing on our hands with Sonny Edwards?
Yeah, definitely. He's got a good personality. Like, he's got a chip on his shoulder, so he divides opinion. Some people want to watch him to see him lose. Some want to see him win. So I also think that he could probably go up a weight. Maybe I'm not too sure how he finds the weight, but he could easily be a two-weight world champion. The future.
He says he wants to go up. He says he wants to go up the weight. He said he said he might even go down another one as well in a previous. So he could go up and down. I remember when Charlie and Sonny both burst onto the scene. They said they want to be the mini Klitschko's, taking over all the smaller weight divisions.
Yeah.
And obviously we've seen Charlie move up. He's going to have another fight. Obviously, he's moved over to Frank Warren. We've seen Sonny Edwards. Absolutely brilliant. And I think that's, correct me if I'm wrong here, guys. I think it's the UK's 11th world champion now. I think we've now got 11 world champions. I'm trying to think. We've obviously got
a few years ago when we had about 10, 11 world champions when we were on a massive rise.
I think we had 13 at one point. But and guess what? We could have 13 tomorrow.
Oh, that'd be fantastic.
It's Craig Richards and Natasha Jonas. I'm really buzzing.
This is
oh wow, honestly.
Especially with tonight's show, ready for tomorrow's show. It's primed beautifully. So people get that like like button, hit, subscribe, get ready for tomorrow evening, 6 o'clock. It's an early one.
6 o'clock. We're on for the whole night.
Eight fights. Buzzing. And then also we had Carlos on tonight, which was great. Xavier Miller, like you said, it was always good to get an opinion from a coach and a current heavyweight that's out there in Dillian Whyte. Intriguing. It was good to pick the brains of Carlos, actually. You can tell he's very hurt by the loss to Dereck Chisora, so I'll be up for seeing that fight, that rematch. Because if Dereck wins or loses, I think that's a fight that everyone would still want to see. Maybe not a main event, but maybe a co-main event. The rematch.
What a fantastic guy! What a fantastic guy Carlos Takam was, and he said he may join us for tomorrow. He may join us tomorrow.
Fantastic.
Oh, mate, honestly, what a fantastic night! Yeah, he's calling out. Hopefully, he'll FaceTime him on the live stream.
And get Francis on the show. That would be great.
Yeah, and get that sparring footage. We may be asking a little bit too much here, Jay, but it's been a brilliant night. And I'm just so buzzing that Sonny Edwards, he's overcome the odds, really, because I think the majority of people on this live stream thought that it was going to be a really tough night for Sonny. And he looked so classy. He looked so classy, guys. So if you didn't watch it tonight, I didn't watch it all because we was talking to Carlos. I'll certainly be watching it. So please do watch it, folks. Hit that like and subscribe button. We'll be back tomorrow for more just great boxing. And that's why we're here. Don't forget, guys, it's not just one big heavyweight fight in Chisora Parker. We've also got later on that evening, well on into the night, we've got Andy Ruiz Jr. versus Chris Arreola. Then the weekend after that, we've got a huge fight in Canelo versus Billy Joe Saunders. Then the weekend after that, I believe, we've got Harper versus Choi in a unification, with Buatsi also on that card. And then the weekend after that, for me, a fight that I've been looking forward to for well over a year. Probably, I'd like to say he's one of my favourite boxers worldwide right now. It's a chance for undisputed. It's Josh Taylor versus Jose Ramirez.
Oh, that's a great fight. That's a great fight. I love Josh Taylor.
And we'll be here, hopefully, to cover it all. So make sure you subscribe to Pep Talk UK. We've been joined. Shout out to Kenny Ken, Benji, Xavier Miller, Probees as ever for making this happen, and Carlos Takam, and all night joined by Jay Alby. Jay, where can people find you?
Find me on Instagram, JALB1989. Find me here with Pep Talk UK. Just join us tomorrow, everyone. 6 o'clock. Tune in. Get your popcorn ready. It's going to be a great night.
Yeah.
Might be more guests. You're going to see Joe again. Joe's a great host. You're going to see me again.
Oh, thank you.
Hopefully see Kenny. Maybe Pro B's. Look, it's a big night. It's the pay-per-view night. You know it's going to be the big guns. You know it's going to be electric. You know it's going to be a slugfest. Let's go. Let's go.
Cool. Eddie Earn's got some competition with that selling, Jay. Definitely. But, guys, it's been brilliant. You can follow me, Joe Pugh 1309 on Instagram. And until tomorrow, as you say, get the popcorn in, get a couple of beers in if you want to have one screen of the fight, one screen of Pep Talk UK, and just enjoy the fights. Until tomorrow, we'll see you soon, guys.
See you soon.